about, plenty to go through. And not only have we got things to go through in regards to SmackDown, but also there's little bits of news that are doing the rounds. But I've just stumbled across something very interesting. I've just stumbled across something which I think you might find interesting. There's a tweet that's doing the rounds, which has come from Matt H. Now, I don't know who this Matt H is. I can't say I've ever seen this person before. But apparently, surveys are being sent out by WWE. So surveys are going out, just trying to get a gauge about what people would be interested in regards to a new performance center and a physical Hall of Fame. Now, I don't want to spend too long on this because I don't know how legit this is, because I don't know who this person is. But they have got screenshots of the actual survey. And if there's any truth to this, it could be very, very interesting. And I could totally believe that WWE was sending this survey out because they've done it before. They've sent out surveys like this before. So this wouldn't be the first time of them doing this. They send it out to, I don't know, key people that are signed up to their mailing list, like people, partners that they've worked with. And so like they send these emails out, these surveys out, and to kind of gauge a reaction of what people think would be the right way forward. So we'll just have a quick look at this. So WWE Performance Center. WWE has always been committed to recruiting and developing the highest quality superstars and athletes to continue providing superior entertainment for its fans. To this end, WWE is currently considering the development of a new state-of-the-art performance center that would be designed to provide world-class amenities, attract top-level talent, and attract fans as well. Now, the reason why I don't think this is just an old survey is because it's talking about wanting to have an element for fans. Now, the old Performance Center didn't. The old Performance Center was literally just for talent, the one down in Orlando. This new one, they're talking about fans being a part of it as well, and there being a big aspect for fans. So let's just quickly blast through this. So the Performance Center could also serve as the anchor to a larger themed mixed-use development that could include a variety of elements: restaurants, bars, retail, an entertainment venue, office blocks, residential hotel parking plazas, etc., to create a destination for fans nationally and internationally. If this is real, right, I feel like this is massive. Because they're sort of like trying to create a destination. They're trying to create, I don't want to say a theme park, because it's not a theme park, but it would be a place for families to go and stay. There would be shops, there would be bars, there would be restaurants. There's the Performance Center. You've got to think this is where NXT would move to. I would think this is where NXT would move to, is that they would move it to this base. And then there would be like an areas for fans to interact with. We'll get to that in a second. So this new Performance Center is envisaged to be in Atlanta, Dallas, Fort Worth, Nashville, Orlando, or Tampa. Those apparently are the 5 areas: Atlanta, Dallas, Nashville, Orlando, or Tampa. I have to think it would be Orlando. I'd have to think Orlando would make the most sense. I mean, it's easy to get to for anyone internationally. They've got a big major airport. It's a theme park place anyway, so, you know, you could stop here and then do Disney, or go there and do Universal. So, you know, you've got all these options. So, yeah, that's really interesting. Let's have a look at this. The core element of a visit to the Performance Center would be an engaging, interactive, and immersive tour where visitors can interact with WWE's past, present, and future, catering to both die-hard and first-time fans. The tour could draw upon the most successful elements of famous and iconic tours and museums. It is envisaged that the tour would have a wide variety of elements, including photo opportunities, multiple digital screens, WWE branding, multiple interactive and educational exhibits, famous memorabilia, historical WWE films and matches, high levels of interactive technology, immersive entertainment, and an access to an authentic WWE ring. In addition to the expansive behind-the-scenes access to the live training facility. So they're saying that part of this tour would be you being able to like watch the stars of tomorrow actually being put through their paces and training at like the performance center. And as I said, they haven't mentioned it here, but I've got to think NXT would move to this place. So very exciting. But now this is maybe the most exciting bit, right? This bit is where they actually break down all the individual things they're thinking of putting into this place, right? Now, I have to stress, they have sent emails and surveys out like this before. So before we all get like super excited and, oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever, like this is like the feeling out process. What's the feedback? Are people crazy about this idea? Is this the right way forward? Like these kind of things float around every now and again. They've done like polls and surveys where they've asked, where do you think the next WrestleMania should be? And like London has been included and everyone's got excited about it. And London has never had a WrestleMania. So this is what I'm saying. You have to kind of just turn down the excitement. But the fact that this is what they're thinking about, if this is legit, of course, is very, very exciting. I can tell you that this has been picked up by ProWrestling.net, though. They've taken this story just a couple of hours ago, this dropped. So they've taken this story. They're reporting on this. So it's not like it is just some dude that's just completely made this up. There are like news outlets that are jumping on it. But we've got, okay, get your photograph taken or an autograph with various legends. Amazing. See how WWE events are produced. So, like, they'll have, like, I don't know, a replica truck, production truck that maybe you could have a little look around. That would be, I never even thought of doing that. That would be cool. Imagine that, like, going into the production truck and, like, having a look, seeing where the director sits and the producer sits and what all the different screens look like as the show's being produced. That would be cool. Listen to a talk on nutrition and fitness routines that the WWE superstars themselves have to undertake. That's cool as well. I'm down for that. That sounds like for anything to do with that stuff, anything that gets you closer to, like, you know, what the superstars have to do. Scott said, Sasha Naomi tonight, fatal four-way match. Thoughts? No. Don't see it, but I think that if they do arrive, it'll be after the winners of this are crowned. That's my thoughts. I don't see them being added like to this. Right, what else we got? Listen to writers discuss how they develop characters, how injuries get handled, and how storylines are written. Could be all right. Allow you to boo at some of them as well for the rubbish that we've had to sit through in recent years. Attend special Q&As with producers, executives, and superstars. Put your knowledge to the test by competing in an interactive trivia game with friends, family, and other attraction visitors. So they'll have like a game show there where you can test your knowledge. Sit in on a live podcast recording by various current and former WWE superstars. I'd imagine it's going to be hard to do these kind of things because they're not going to be filming podcasts all the time, are they? So, like, I'd imagine like it'll just be certain times that you'd get to go along. So, the picture next to it is of Corey Graves. In fact, what I could do, I don't know if I've got I haven't got a window capture. Let me see if I can get one. Let me try and get one so that you can see what I can see. Here we go. Look. Just so you know, I'm not like making it up. Let me judge it down, swoosh it down. There we go. Heel turn. John Lammy, shout out to you, my friend. Appreciate the support. Bloodwire Radio said, "Are you in the US?" I'm not. No. And if not, has there been any recent pay-per-view events that you've wanted to travel to see? No. To be honest, I'm someone that loves streaming, and I love doing the watch-alongs, and I love interacting with you guys. So, I mean, look, there's tons of shows that I think have had good cards. And, you know, I suppose I would always love to one day go to a WrestleMania or one day go to a Royal Rumble. But to be perfectly truthful, like, I seriously have as much fun. I've been to live WWE shows, but never a pay-per-view. But I honestly think I have as much fun sitting here chatting with you guys as I would actually going to one of the shows. So I could have had the opportunity to have gone to Clash, but I'm streaming it. I'm going to do the watch along with you guys instead. So as I said, you know, I am literally sacrificing myself for you guys. Yeah, I'm a hero. Let's never forget that. So Bloodwire Radio, shout out to you. As I said, John, shout out to you as well. Loving the working out pair as well. You got a lovely pair, mate. And Heel Santa as well. Appreciate it, buds. Right, let's go. I want to try and get through this. I said we wouldn't take long on this, and we're taking a bit longer than I wanted. So, yeah, this is like the stuff that you can do sitting on a podcast. There's another one as well, look. Activities. In addition to the tour museum elements of the attraction, the WWE Performance Center could include a wide variety of fun, immersive, and engaging activities to create a high level of excitement during visitation. The graphic below depicts a list of some of the activities that could be included in this attraction. So these are some of the things that you can do whilst you're there as well. You could try on a championship belt and get a souvenir picture for your social media. You can watch superstars and trainers show how basic moves are executed. You can mimic your favorite superstar entrances and put it on social media. You can dress up like a superstar, put it on social media. You can record a video of you smack talking, also known as cutting a promo, against a virtual opponent, or announcing a match with the ability to save it and share it on social media. Sumo suit wrestling, we don't need to do that. Why are we doing that? Get in a padded suit, why? And wrestle your friends, why? And family to crown a champion, why? Why are we doing that? When do we have had a sumo match in WWE, so I can't say we've never done sumo, but I don't know. I feel like we're scraping the barrel now. Just a little, we're starting to scrape the barrel. WWE Zorbs, why are we doing that? Roll around a WWE cage in a Zorb ball, just like your favorite superstars, and see who can last the longest in the middle. I mean, don't get me wrong, they sound like fun, and I'm sure you have to fill it out with other attractions, but I don't know. I get the dressing up, the posing with the belt, like, you know, all that kind of stuff, like going into a ring, looking at the memorabilia, you know, getting inside a giant inflatable ball. I'm not sure what, I think we're losing focus here. That would be my feedback. My feedback is I want it all, but I could take or leave the Zorbs. A trampoline park. Isn't that for AEW? That's not a WWE thing, isn't that? That's Young Bucks World, isn't it? You don't need that in a WWE themed trampoline park. You need that in the AEW themed park. Burn. So, yeah. Hey, that's exciting, isn't it? That's exciting. If that is true, and it better be true, Mr. whatever your name is, Matt H. You better not be lying to me. Yeah, it looks kind of interesting. I hope that is true. I hope they are working on a destination where you can go take the family, like look at memorabilia. That to me just sounds like a permanent giant access, which I've said so many times. Like, that's exactly what I want. I want to go to Access. Like, if someone said, here's 2 tickets to WrestleMania, or here's 2 tickets to Access, I'm taking the Access tickets. Which sounds mental, right? I understand it sounds mental. But the thing with Access is you can get into the ring. You can't get into the ring at WrestleMania. You can, last time I saw, like, they had an elimination chamber set up. You could get inside an elimination chamber. You can't do that at WrestleMania. Meet and greets. They have all the meet and greets. You can meet all the legends and the wrestlers. Can't do that at WrestleMania. They've got like a giant shop, the big shop. Now, they do have merch at WrestleMania, but I don't think they'd have it on this scale. This is like a massive, massive WWE store that's got like exclusives and things in it. So definitely want to do that. Then they've got like Hall of Fame displays. They've got the old entrance ways. Mattel have got a booth there as well. They did in the past used to put on like special NXT shows as well. So if you went to Access, you could actually sit down and watch like NXT stars. There was loads. A lot of the stars you see now have competed at Access. So yeah, I would love to go to Access. And that sounds just like Access. So exciting. Hope it's real. Hope it's true. Brenton, hello, says, shout out, hope you are well. I am shocked that AEW got 1 million. How many positive comments have you seen in regards to the Moxley Punk match? Thoughts on a potential rematch? It's all a bit odd. I've seen it be mixed, to be honest. I think that if you are an AEW fan, then you have stood by it. I think if you're an AEW hater, then you've laid into it. It's pretty much gone the way I was expecting. The only thing I would say is that Dave Meltzer is saying that he still expects, still believes that Moxley against CM Punk is going to be the main event of All Out. Now, if that happens, I don't get it. I don't understand, right? I said the other day during Dynamite, I didn't mind the finish because I thought that CM Punk was really injured. If he's really injured and we've got to get the belt off him and he can't work a full match, I get it. I understand why they've done it, right? You could have him surrender the belt, but, you know, if he's going to go away for a while, why not just crown a new champion, have them win clean? It keeps Punk protected, blah, 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 right? Get it. So I wasn't down on it the other day, and I'm still not down on it now, but I am very much keeping an eye as to how this is playing out and what this story is. So, because what I don't understand is if CM Punk is not injured, not really injured, then how are we telling this story? So he wasn't able to compete the other day on Wednesday because his foot gave out, his ankle gave out. But apparently in like literally a week or two's time, he's going to be fine. And he's going to be able to compete a proper full match and win his belt back against Moxley. Like, how are we telling that story? How am I meant to believe that Punk is going to be good enough in a few weeks' time when he was, you know, clearly injured and clearly unable to compete just on Wednesday? So, yeah, right now the jury is still out on it, to be honest. The jury is still out. So it's a very hard thing to comment on because we're still finding out the details. We're still seeing how it unfolds. So I'm just going to stick with my original answer of I think it's all right. I like the fact I was shocked. I think that CM Punk was unable to work a proper full match. And I have no idea where we're going now, although Meltzer thinks it's still going to be CM Punk against Moxley. So let's see. But the response to it has been 50-50. The response to it has been 50-50. If it is a punishment, which I don't think it is, but if it was a punishment for going rogue in the promo, which I don't think it is, then that sucks to me. That sucks because you're ruining a story just to punish a wrestler. Because like the fact that he got injured and wasn't able to compete on Wednesday now, and you've punished him and took the belt off him. If you're still putting him in the main event of All Out, as I've just said, how am I meant to believe that he stands a chance? How am I meant to believe that he is going to win that match? If they can answer that question, I'll be impressed. If they do go ahead with that match and they can answer that question, fair play. But yeah, a bit torn on it at the moment. So we'll have to see. Meltzer released his AEW ratings. To be honest, I don't pay him attention now. I don't pay him attention. There's been so many over the past few years that have just been so far away from what I thought the matches were. They just don't hold the value anymore that they did for me. So I don't look at them. They're probably worth having a look at for a laugh. Hazza said, I hope you're doing well. I saw somewhere earlier that apparently Triple H wants DIY to reunite. I'm not against it, but I would love to see them feud again. Thoughts? I don't mind them getting back together. I think I did a member stream last night where there was a good theory that came out of it that you could have them reunite at WrestleMania and then split up. So really, the majority of next year would be DIY. So Johnny comes in, wins Money in the Bank. Ciampa gets jealous. That splits up DIY. DIY had a match at WrestleMania. I was kind of like, it's a good way to use them. We don't need to get Johnny to the main event scene straight away, but if he's got Money in the Bank and he cashes it in 2024, I'm not down on that. I'm not down on that at all, so I thought that was pretty good. Maldy said, did you see WWE are having their own shop in David's Hall? There are free meet and greets throughout the weekend. I did, and I did also tweet out what those meet and greets were. So let me try and do that for anyone that's just joining us. And if you are just joining us, you missed some really fun news at the start, which I hope is true, is there's a survey doing the rounds where WWE are trying to establish where a new performance center should go. Because in all fairness, they do need one. I don't even know where their performance center is right now because the old performance center is NXT. It's NXT, and obviously that NXT arena is not ideal for a performance center. If you remember the old performance center, it had about 5 rings permanently set up so that people could all train at the same time. This new NXT layout has just got the 1 ring, and you're not going to keep pushing all the seats back every week, are you? And setting new rings up and doing all of that. So I believe they've actually got a new warehouse. Because I briefly, and I don't even know what video it was on, but I briefly saw a clip of where they are training. And I'm not joking. It's a warehouse, literally a warehouse, not very wide. It's wide enough for a ring, and then there's a little bit of a walkway in front. And there's about 3 rings in a row. And then you've got this little kind of walkway in front. And that is it. Nothing on the walls, no posters or anything on the walls. It's grey. It's uninspiring. It's just temporary. You can tell it's temporary. Because you've got to remember that when the pandemic hit, they moved very quickly into the Performance Center. That's where we were getting Raw, SmackDown. It's where we got WrestleMania 36. As soon as they could go back on the roads, they kept NXT in the Performance Center. And it became like NXT's arena. So whilst all that was happening, they've obviously had to move the Performance Center to a different location, which I think is probably, again, just guessing, probably in the same place. If you know where the Performance Center is, I've actually been there. Not inside, but when I went to Orlando, I visited it. And when you visit it, there's a message on the door that says, trespassers will be prosecuted. So very quickly left. So I found it. It's literally down like this track, this road. It's really, there's a major road. You have to turn off it and then turn off it again. And then you go down and it's just like warehouse, 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 warehouse. When you get to the end of the road, there's like a warehouse that's on the corner. That's the one that is the Performance Center. It's a decent-ish like size. It's a decent size. But as I said, as soon as you get up to it, it's like trespassers will be prosecuted. So I was like, let's go. Which I can understand. To be honest, I thought there would probably be nothing WWE on there. I was not expecting a big WWE logo or anything, and there isn't. But there was on the door a WWE logo, and trespassers will be prosecuted. So my guess is, because it's got other warehouses around it, it's probably one of those other units that they've just managed to get and they train there. So they're quite close to each other, but I don't know that as a fact. So yeah, I can totally believe that they do need another performance center and a proper one. And if you're going to open one, combining it with like the physical Hall of Fame, which is kind of the vibe I'm getting, it makes so much sense to do that. It makes so much sense to do that because they've looked at a physical Hall of Fame before. They wanted to put it in City Walk in Universal Studios, but they couldn't get the deal like sorted. And they have looked at like creating this physical Hall of Fame. So it seems like they want that and the Performance Center, and they want to make it this one-stop shop for wrestling fans. Honestly, if that gets the green light, I'm going to flipping live there. I could get a job. I could be the tour guy. Dream job. Wrestling fans, come on in. We're doing the tour now. Come in from the back. Come on. Right. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Here we are. Are you all excited? Look at your face. Oh, I'd be so good at that job. Where do I send my CV? They'll go, what experience have you got? And I'll be like, I've watched wrestling for a long time. Other than that, I don't have any experience, I'm afraid. But yes, I was talking about the meet and greet thing, right? There we go. We've got Sheamus on Thursday. This is, if you go down to that shop, I said the meet and greet shop. It's not the meet and greet shop. It's the Clash at the Castle Superstore in Cardiff, right? So if you go down there, then Sheamus is at 2 o'clock on Thursday. Shayna Baszler at 5. Ridge Holland at 11 a.m. I would probably go out of all of those to Dakota and Io, to be honest. I mean, Sheamus is a legend. He'll go in the Hall of Fame. That's pretty cool. Shayna Baszler used to be in the UFC. That's pretty cool. Ridge Holland. Then you've got Dakota and Io. I'd probably go to that. I feel like I'm getting my money's worth, even though it's free. Then on Friday, you got Damian Priest. And then on Saturday, you got Madcap Moss. That's all right. I mean, it's not Undertaker John Cena, is it? But you're telling me it's free? Can't complain at that. Reports and rumours are that Triple H wants to redesign the title, says James. Yeah, I think you sent me that, didn't you? Someone sent me a Belts by Dan tweet where he was saying that there's rumours that the title's going to get redesigned, and belts by Dan, belts for Dan, belts by Dan. He has designed championships for AEW. I don't know if he's done any for WWE. He might have. So if he's got something to say like that, then it's worth listening to. So yeah, new titles, new title designs. I can understand that. But as I said, I think that he will know that the big WWE logo, it still needs to be prominent. So I think if it is going to be for the Universal and for the WWE Championship, he'll be very brave to move away from the current design too much. So I don't know how much we can get our hopes up. Because I would flipping love like the Winged Eagle or something Winged Eagle-esque to return. But I don't know. I've said before, the reason why the belts are the way they are, in my opinion, is because if you take a picture of Bianca Belair holding that women's championship, you do not need to know who Bianca Belair is without having to work out who she works for. She works for the WWE. The logo is right there. Look at that for timing. Look at that, I just mentioned her. Watch me shine now. That's a clever trick, isn't it? So, yeah, you don't need to know who she works for. It's right there. So it makes sense, doesn't it, that you would have the logo loud and proud. And in this day and age, there's more pictures taken now than flipping ever before. I mean, you've got to remember, back in the day, people didn't have, like, smartphones and cameras and all this kind of stuff. There wasn't the internet. There wasn't social media. So normally, when you took a picture of someone, it told you who it was underneath. So there was no wondering as to who these people are. Whereas now, with social media, like, there's just pictures just everywhere, and it doesn't even tell you who these people are sometimes. Sometimes it can be a picture of, like, Liv with the belt, and the thing will just say, Queen! Queen! And, I mean, fun fact, that's not the Queen. She's not the Queen. I've seen the Queen, and it is not Liv Morgan, right? But this is the world we live in now, so I'm really hopeful that Triple H is going to use his influence to get it looking very classic, because Triple H is all about history. He's got 10 pounds of gold NWA title on his wall that was given to him from Ric Flair. He had all the old championships on the wall as well. Triple H is very tradition in my eyes. I think he was trained by Killer Kowalski, and I think that he knows what modern fans are looking for, but I think he's got that connection to the past as well, and he loves the past, and he respects the past, and so I'm hopeful it will be a real classy-looking belt, something like AEW's, which I think is a great belt. I think their title is great. So in my mind, I can see the WWE logo in the center with things around it, but the center piece will be the logo. How big it is, I'm not sure, but I don't think it'll be just the logo, which is what we've got now. So yeah, if those belts are changing, I'm all for it. And I hope it's classy. And I wonder if it'll be something like the Intercontinental. Because the Intercontinental's got the WWE logo in the center. And then it's got like gubbins around it. So I wonder if they could go something like that, the new Intercontinental. But I must admit, I'm not crazy about the new Intercontinental. I don't hate it, but I'm not crazy about it. Just saying. Delwyn, appreciate the support, my friend. We haven't even spoke about what's on the flipping show today. We will get to that. Busy. So much going on. Delwyn says, evening days. Roman says on the podcast that there is a better chance of a huge WrestleMania match with The Rock. What do you think that rumors are Triple H wants new belt designs to change? Could old belts be back? You're building on what I've just said, which is cool. So, yeah, I believe them. I believe that he would want new title designs because I think some of them are trash. And in fact, I'll go as far as to say most of them are trash. I think the WWE logo is, very, very uninspiring. I think Roman coming down to the ring with these two belts where you just see like most of the actual belt, like the actual leather in the background. You see more background than you do actual metal and jewels and things like that. Like I love belts that are really detailed, like loads of designs, something that you can look at and actually looks prestigious. Like you can look at it and go, wow, yeah, I can see why everyone's fighting for that. Like it's a beautiful looking item and it should be like, the pinnacle of the company. This is what we give to our champions. This is what our champions get to carry. And that prestige just doesn't come across with the current belt designs for me. So, yeah, do I think it'll be the old belts? No. And I don't think it should be because I think you should always move forward. There's always, a way of modernizing things or kind of trying new techniques. Look at NXT. They just put those like different colors on, which, didn't look too bad. But, let's have a look, see what they can come up with rather than just going back to, Winged Eagle. I'd love for it to be something like the Winged Eagle. But I must admit, even I'm not sitting here saying, I hope it's the Winged Eagle. Even I don't want it to be something we've already had. So, no, I'm going to say hopefully it's something new, fresh, exciting, but feels prestigious. And there's a better chance of a huge match with The Rock. I hope we do get a match with The Rock. I really do, because I think the Rock-Roman match is the match to make. It's the match that everyone wants. So I hope that does come through. So, Delwyn, appreciate the support, my friend. Delwyn Jones, legend of the community, and very much appreciated. John Lammy as well, showing his support. Again, appreciate it, dude. Thank you. Twizzle Ted. Twiz Ted. I thought it was Twizzle D at first, which I thought might be your rap name, but it's not. It's Twiz Ted. Says, hi, Days. My best friend is having a match on AEW tonight. You should check him out. He is amazing, and he is the current champion for Mega Wrestling. Sadly, we don't watch Rampage, so put in the chat who your friend is so that people can keep an eye out for him. But that's cool, though. He's managed to get onto Rampage. Rampage is pretty stacked, though, in all fairness. I mean, unless there is like a jobber match on there and your friend's a jobber, they don't tend to do that. When did he compete? Was it on Wednesday and they recorded it? Because maybe he's going to be on Dark or Elevation, because that's normally where you get jobbers. You don't tend to get jobbers on Dynamite or Rampage. I'm not saying you never do, because you do. So he absolutely could. But if he did a match on Wednesday that was recorded, maybe it'll be on Dark or Elevation. Put his name in, and that way people can keep an eye out for him and see if he does make an appearance tonight or not. But that'll be interesting. Twiz Ted letting us know. David Paul said, please read Brendan's question. Where's Brendan's question? Hang on. I'm trying to read all these super chats, and I think we've got through them. Okay. His name is Ashton Day. He wrestles in Cleveland. It was recorded. He's posted a picture saying it's Dynamite. Oh, well, Dynamite's a Wednesday. So Rampage is tonight. So if he's wrestling on Dynamite, why would they record it today? Or did he compete? Maybe he's already competed. Because Dynamite is on a Wednesday. Rampage is on a Friday. So if he's wrestled on Dynamite, he might have been and gone. He might have already competed on Wednesday. I can't remember. Can we remember jobbers on Dynamite? Can I get Dynamite results? Let me have a look. AEW Dynamite results. AEW Dynamite results. Grades, reactions. Chris Jericho, Daniel Garcia face-to-face. Dax against Jay Lethal. Billy Gunn against Colton Gunn. Kylie King against Dr. Britt Baker. CM Punk against John Moxley. Death Triangle against Will Ospreay and Aussie Open. So, no, there was no jobber matches on Dynamite. If it was recorded, then it could be... They do record Rampage at the same time as Dynamite. So there is a chance that it could be tonight. So people have to keep an eye out for that. So Ashton Day is who you're looking for. Friend of the channel, Ashton Day. Brenton said, AEW and WWEF has been preempted, rescheduled for baseball, hockey, football, and even dog shows in the US. My question... Has there ever been preemptions in the UK, or has Fight fixed that problem? What do you mean by that? Like, have they ever moved wrestling because of something else that's on in the UK? No, because we don't have that power, do we? So they will move it. Really. We don't have that power. So in this country, we might have to move channels. So if there was like Premier League football that was on, I mean, why would it be on at that time though? Sometimes there is something big happening, but I think it might be something that's happening in America as well. And so, it goes from Sky Sports 1 to Sky Sports 3 or BT Sport 1 to BT Sport 3. So it'll change channel. But it'll never move because of a sport or anything. Like, it'll always be live. The only thing that's really ever thrown it out wasn't there one to do with commercials or something? I seem to remember that the show started at the same time in the UK as the US, but for some reason we didn't have commercials. And I remember that I was blasting through the show because there was no commercials. And I was getting out of sync with you lot in America. And so I was out of sync. And so you lot were like, hang on, we haven't got that far yet. And I was like, oh. So then I was having to like pause the show so that you lot could then catch back up. And then then I had people in the UK going, hang on, what are you doing? Because we can still see what's happening. And I was like, oh my God, this is a mess. But that's only ever happened a couple of times. And that was something to do with like commercials, us not having commercials when you did. But actually us moving the show, no. We can't move the show. Because if we move the show, it just won't be live. And I don't know that that's ever happened, to be honest. Well, certainly not whilst it's been on BT Sport. It could have happened at some point in the 2000s on Sky or something, but I don't think it has. I think that there's enough different channels that they can shove it on, whereby if there is another thing that's on, then so be it. You see, the thing is, USA Network, I think you've only got USA Network, haven't you? I don't think there's like a USA Network 2 or a USA Network 3. But in this country, we've got Sky Sports, but we've also got Sky Sports 2 and we've got Sky Sports 3. And then you've got things like Sky Sports Arena and Sky Sports whatever. So there's all like these different Sky Sports channels. So if they've got something more important, they'll put that on Sky Sports 1 and the wrestling will just drop down to Sky Sports 2, Sky Sports 3, Sky Sports 4. It's really not a problem. It'd be like, you know, if USA Network has got something more important, or Fox has got something more important, they could put that on Fox and put the wrestling to Fox 2. But I don't know that you've got a Fox 2. I think you've got FS1, haven't you? And so it does drop to there. But in all fairness, when that drops to FS1, it never changes where it's shown in the UK. It just stays BT Sport 1 or whatever. So, no. Jamie said, Days, it's my final night in Benidorm. Heartbreaking. What a better way to end the holiday than watching the Fab Four, the Beatles, at Cabaret nightclub. Time to party in Spain for the last time. Have a fantastic time. I should imagine as you typed that, there was tears pouring down your face. But, you know, listen, keep your chin up, yeah? Keep your chin up, keep your heart full. And always remember, tomorrow's another day. Jim said, what are your thoughts on the NWA 74 card? Murdoch Tyrus for the championship should not be a long match. Haven't been looking, but honestly, my interaction with NWA is close to non-existent anymore. Not because I don't like it or anything, just because if we're not streaming it, we're not doing it, we're not watching it, it's just not on my agenda. So I can have a little look at the card now. Big card. Massive card. What the flip? Chris Adonis against Odison. I don't know who Odison is. I don't know what that is. Matt Cardona against To Be Announced. EC3 against Matthew Mims. The Miserably Faithful against Ill Begotten. Don't miss. That's in a Beelzebub Bedlam match. Bully Ray against Mike Knox. Commonwealth Connection. That could be all right, actually. Against La Rebellion. I don't know. Commonwealth Connection sound cool. Jax Dane against Sion. That's for the National Heavyweight Championship. Homicide against Kerry Morton. Samantha Starr against Kylie King, against Tootie Lynn, against Mr. Kate, against Max the Impaler, against Maddie Rankowski, against Angelina Love, against Genocide, against Natalia Markova, against Tyrene Terrell. Whew. Camille against Taya Valkyrie. Pope against Rodney Mack. Luke Hawks against VSK. And the country gentleman, taking on Gold Rush. I mean, I must admit, I'm looking at this card, and it ain't grabbing me. Although saying that, there's 2 nights, so maybe that's why it's not grabbing me, because there's a whole nother night. That's where you get your Nick Aldis and some of the names that I know. So it's actually spaced. Does it need 2 nights? Jesus, 2-night affair. Looks like they've gone big on it. I'll give them that. So, Nick Aldis against Flip Gordon. Davey Richards. I mean, look, my thoughts on it are 2 nights. Would it not be better to just do 1 night and have a really strong card? Because I was reading out most of those names. I ain't got a flip who any of them are. So, I don't know, dude. It's one that I think looks like if you're into it, they've given you a smorgasbord of matches, plenty to get your teeth into. But I think if you're not into it, there's a lot of names there. I haven't got a clue who they are. But hope if you are watching it, have fun, enjoy it. It's, as I said, I think that it certainly looks like they've gone big. Nick Aldis addresses politics that have led to Tyrus replacing him at NWA 74. Primo said, AEW did 1 million. Meltzer tweeted 0.34 demo was roughly 444,000 people in 18 to 49. And 605 were people over 50, giving it 1049. What do you think of more older, less young watching AEW? To be honest, I wouldn't. we're really getting into the minutia here. Do you know what I mean? Like, the fact that we as fans are getting into the weeds that much. I mean, honestly, we're doing the kind of work that AEW management should be doing. Do you know what I mean? And I'm sure they are. But I think to sit there and actually look at the different demos and see the age groups as to who's watching, like, for me, this is something that's always going to be quite fluid. Like, you can sit there and come up with a load of theories as to why younger people aren't watching, why older people are tuning in, all this kind of stuff. But you need to be doing that on a quarterly basis, not a week by week basis. If you look at that on a week by week basis, you're going to drive yourself insane. It's great having stats, but too many stats, and certainly stats that only look at such a small time period, are not going to give you an accurate picture. I used to work in retail, and you could look at an IMV report, something that gave you like your key performance indicators, and you could look at like different analytics in that would give you a completely false narrative as to what the actual situation was, because a week by week basis is no indicator really. What you need a quarterly one. You need to look at like 3 months worth of data and then compare that to, say, the 3 months before. Or if you want to go smaller than that, do it on a month by month basis and have a look and see how your month has gone and compare it to the month before. Now, if you are seeing a trend and you are seeing real like progress where, kids are leaving and more adults are joining, then I think you can start digging into reasons why. But to be honest, that whole kind of a conversation would be, I mean, you're talking like 1-2 hours worth of meetings there. Like, to me, that is like proper business level sitting down discussing stuff. Do you know what I mean? I don't know that that's something we can just sit and just like, oh, here, this is the reason why. So, I mean, look, you could go with like, there's too much blood, there's too much bad language, like there's not enough entertainment or comedy segments for the kids, or, the kids are into things like Orange Cassidy and there's not really anything else apart from Danhausen that kind of fits that mold. It's all very serious. It's all super Business Insider. It's all like little inside jokes, if you will. You've got bad language and things like this, blah, 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 blah. You could go through all of that. But to be honest, I don't even know if that's true. Without looking at like a 3-month report and seeing like, if there is a trend or if it's just a one-off blip, then, so be it really. I wouldn't really like delve into it that deep for just a week. I think the takeaway for this week was that they got the million. I think they got the million. They got what they wanted to get out of it. If they hadn't have got the million, that would have been a big shock. But they got the million. It doesn't matter who tunes in as part of that million. I don't care if the people that tuned in were dead, right? They got the million, tick, move on. But if you was an executive and you thought that was now starting to be a trend, then that was absolutely something that you would want to keep an eye on and sit down with Tony Khan at the end of the month and say, look, numbers have improved, but it's the 50 plus demo that's been growing. So we need to find a way of attracting more kids, or we need to grow the 18 to 49. But to be honest, I think everything they do caters to the 18 to 49. I think that is very much the bracket that they focus on. So if more adults have tuned in, then, so be it. Maybe some of that is to do with the fact that, 40-year-olds, 30 to 40-year-olds that were watching WWE when CM Punk was there might now be in their 50s. Do you know what I mean? I mean, CM Punk's been gone from WWE for 8 years or so? So, you could easily go back 10 years. If you're 51, 10 years ago, you were 41. So, your connection with CM Punk might be when you was watching WWE. So it could be something as simple as that. CM Punk attracts that older demo because that older demo were watching him when he was in WWE. And so him coming back and having that match against Moxley, that might be why it attracted more older people than younger people. But again, with just 1 week's worth of data, there's no way of knowing that. You would need to be looking at breakdowns of the segments and a much wider time frame. Do you play Supercard, says Cody? No, I did used to, but I got frustrated with it, to be honest. I played it when it first came out, so I played season 1, and I was quite good at it, and I put in the time, and in fact, I put in too much time. It was one of those where I remember you had a 24-hour period to like score as many points as possible, and the more points you got in that 24-hour period, the better reward you got at the end. And I remember staying up all night. This one night, I was up all night on Supercard, like blah, 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 just like constantly trying to win points. I got a really nice card at the end, but I remember it flipped to season 2, and all the cards were like downgraded, and it was all like I felt like all the work that I had done didn't carry over. And I remember looking at it, going, "Oh, do you know what? Forget this," and it was enough for me to just walk away from it. Which that was a real mistake on their part. I feel like if you'd played season 1, you should have actually been rewarded rather than punished. But it was like I think the cards were starting to get like quite powerful, and they wanted to like push them down a little bit because they were maybe a bit worried that it was all getting a bit like, it was all growing a bit too quick. I mean, I can't remember what numbers the cards had on them, but I think they were like in the thousands. And I saw now they're in the millions. Like the power-ups are like, and the little things are like 24 million and all this kind of stuff. So, no, to answer your question. I mean, that's been going a long time. It's very popular, but it's not something that I stuck with. But I get why people play it. I was addicted to it. James said, Commonwealth Connection is Harry Smith, a.k.a. Davey Boy Smith Jr. and Doug Williams. Brenton said, what are your thoughts on AEW talent meeting? I think they should be concerned, but at the same time, problems exist in every company. Triple H will experience it somewhere down the road. I agree. I agree. It's of no concern to me whatsoever. I mean, the only thing I would say is that there are a couple of things. First of all, the information getting out is a bit of a concern. I think that AEW have done a really good job of keeping things tight. Like, there's been loads of mystery people that we never found out who it was going to be until it actually happened. Whereas now we're starting to find out about this backstage drama. That says to me that, the honeymoon is over and leaks are getting out now. And if I was Tony Khan, that would be a concern. So I think that's a bit of a problem, the fact that they've not been able to keep it quiet. And I think the other concern is that there's been so many things happening at the same time. You've had the Sami and Eddie situation. You've had the Thunder Rosa kind of situation with different people as well. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that the sandbagging with Marina Shafir, where she was accused of like being hard to work with, like going limp and, like making it difficult to slam and really trying to show up Marina Shafir. And that was all smoothed over. There was a picture of her giving her bread, the breaking of bread and all that kind of a picture. Although what I don't understand was that she did that, but then she had a shirt that said sandbagging on it. So it's kind of like, I'm really sorry, let's break bread together, but also I am totally going to use this to make money. So I thought that was a bit mixed messagey. But yeah, you've got obviously that situation. Then we're finding out about Jamie Hayter and Thunder Rosa, and we're finding out that Britt Baker and Thunder have not liked each other all throughout. And then on top of that, you've got the Hangman and CM Punk situation. So the only thing I'd say is, look, these kind of backstage dramas are nothing new. They happen in WWE, and they will always happen because you have got very competitive superstars trying to be the guy, trying to be the person. It's all political. There's loads of hurt feelings. It might seem like, what happens on screen is all just scripted and no one cares, but there's a lot of hurt feelings. And, promos close to the bone as well is another interesting one because seemingly they're allowed to go out there and, cut their promos and say what they want to say. And, now we're starting to see people get hurt feelings from promos. I mean, Eddie Kingston got upset because he was called a fat piece of trash or something from Sami, and that played into him getting really upset. So, I mean, Eddie Kingston has come out and said, look, I was wrong. Should never lay your hands on another man type thing. But I thought Sami's response was really interesting. Sami came out and said, look, we do say things that we don't want the other person to talk about. And apparently, one of the things you can't talk about with Sami is his ex-fiancée. You can't mention I can't remember her name, Pam, I think. You can't mention that in promos. He won't allow it. And if you do, it's a line crossed and there's going to be repercussions from Tony and everything. So, there's clear parameters. And apparently Eddie Kingston never said, you can't say anything about my weight. I don't want you saying I'm fat or anything like this. And so that's why Sami did it. And Sami's like, look, I didn't really want to cause offense, but, it happened. It's so weird, isn't it? Because now not only have we got the news getting out, we've now also got public statements from wrestlers saying, oh, you know that thing I said on TV where I called him fat? I didn't really want to upset him. I didn't really want to hurt him. I mean, we all know what he means, but it's flipping weird, and it's weird where the wrestling business is right now. I mean, this is meant to be like proper TV, believable, realistic. That's how wrestling has always been. It's like, it's always been kayfabe, and, that line has been blurred. Whereas now we've got people saying stuff on TV. We've got other wrestlers crying about it. And we've got wrestlers having to issue statements now going, I didn't really mean it. I didn't really mean to upset him. What a time to be alive, eh? But look, hurt feelings are hurt feelings. Can't help it. If you hurt someone's feelings, and they're genuinely hurt, I can understand you wanting to make a statement saying, I didn't mean it. So I get why they do it, but I'm just saying, it's weird. It's weird. I just can't imagine this happening in the Stone Cold era, where Stone Cold's like ripping it, or The Rock, when he was ripping into people, making fun of people. I just can't imagine them going on social media afterwards saying, I didn't really mean it. Because, kayfabe and everything. But kayfabe's dead. It's dead. It's gone. Let it go. I tell you what they should have at this WWE exhibition. They should have a grave for kayfabe. We could all go and visit the grave of kayfabe. They could have the grave of kayfabe, so we can all go and pay our respects to when wrestling was believable. But Triple H is bringing it back, man. He's bringing it back. Moldy said, I saved loads for Clash. I'm going to go and meet Sheamus on Thursday. I'm meeting Damien on Friday. Then I'm going to go to Undertaker's show. Saturday, I'm meeting Bret Hart. And then I'm going to go to the stadium for the show. Seems like you are doing it, Moldy. You are going full steam ahead, living that Clash at the Castle high life. And I salute you, my friend. Have a great time. Darcy said, good morning. How was your dinner for breakfast? Yeah, it was all right. I got up, walked the dog, and everything I said last night on the members stream is exactly what I did. So I got up, walked the dog, and then I had, I think it was called Georgian chicken or something. It's like chicken in a sauce with I think it's like a sour cream on as well, on a bed of rice. It's quite nice. It's very tasty. So, it was good. It's a weird time to be having dinner, as I said, but you get used to it. Edward said, please read, Days. Almost at 30,000 people have viewed my tweet about Rangers with 200 comments and 160 quoted tweets. Twitter can be amazing at times. Yes. I would say very good, but wasn't it a trolling tweet? Haven't you basically gone onto Twitter to troll Rangers fans and upset Rangers fans? So, I mean, respect and credit for getting that many interactions. You have achieved it though by trolling Rangers fans. So I don't know if that's something that you want to go down. I mean, listen, you could be the friendly face of trolling. That could be your calling. That could be what you do now. You could start trolling different people. Because I'm pretty sure if Sasha comes back, if you put a little video up saying that she looks like garbage, and you do your laughing face emojis, oh my God, she's a disgrace. What made her think that hair was going to work? Laughing faces. I promise you will get interactions. I mean, I can pretty much guarantee it. That you will get people interacting with you, but it's not going to be a pleasant ride. It's not going to be a pleasant read. So I don't know, dude. I would just give it some thought. Do you want to be that guy? Do you want to be that guy? Maybe you do. And it would be an honor for me to know an official troll on Twitter. It'd be a pleasure. I'm glad that you mentioned the network bringing up toning down of language. Apparently Discovery didn't say anything about bloods. I think they should tone down both, says Brenton. Yeah, that was mentioned about like toning it down the language, but I think they probably will. I don't think you need the swear words. I really don't. I think like some of the stuff that gets said that gets the biggest reaction is not the swearing. Right, we're live anyway. Ricochet starting the show. We got Ricochet starting the show.
There's the cake,
One
look.
and
only
Ricochet. Are you ready for a good time? Andrew Tate has gone off on KSI, says Social Knockout. Oh, someone's going to have to tell me what the hell Andrew Tate's all about. I don't know. I really don't know. Edward said, thoughts on the KSI press conference weigh-in? How do you think he'll do? Having looked at that Pineda, I don't think he's going to struggle. I think Pineda is going to have decent hand speed. He might have decent power. When I say decent power, I mean like, I don't know. He doesn't look like he's got decent power, but I saw him like hitting the pads and he seemed to have something behind him. So, you know, I don't know. I think he's been like hand selected, isn't he? Because yes, he's a professional boxer, but he's actually fighting above his weight class. He's got a professional boxer, but this professional boxer is from a weight class lower than what they're fighting at. So, like, they're fighting at like 170 yards. I think they're fighting at cruiserweight. And I don't know. It's a professional. It looks to me like it's professional boxer in name. Do you know what, right? I think rather than point out the obvious, I think the best thing to do is just say, I expect him to win both, and these are warm-up matches. These are matches just to shake off the ring rust and to get him warmed up. That's what I'll say. I'll give him credit for fighting a professional boxer, but having seen him and seeing the press conference, seeing like the fact he looks about 12, and finding out that he's actually a professional boxer from weight classes below, you do kind of go, okay, I get what's happening here. And also, another thing as well, and I don't know if this is what they're going to do, but I heard that every fight on the cards is going to be 4 rounds, and the main event is meant to be 6, right? But I heard that KSI is going to do 3 rounds maximum against Swarms, and 3 rounds maximum against this boxer. So that means he'll only do 6 rounds in total if both go the distance, which that also strikes me as being really dodgy, because if you're going to do 2 fights, shouldn't they both be like for 6 rounds? Why? Because basically you're still only doing 1 fight. And I know you can say, oh yeah, but it's against a fresh opponent in the main event, but he is also getting a good like few hours in between them because he's opening the show. Then he's got a couple of hours to rest, and then he's doing another, 3 rounds later. Everything I look at this just makes me go, this is all just dodge. It's a war. Do you know what? It's ring rust in it. Get the ring rust off. It's a warm-up fight, but I don't think there's going to be much here for KSI fans to shout about. I really don't. You can shout that he beat a professional boxer, but you've only got to take a look at this guy and go, flip, he looks about 12. And Swarms might even be a bit more of a challenge, to be honest. I really don't know. At least Swarms seems to have a bit of bulk about him. I know you can't really judge anything on that, but we'll see. There's fights I'm really interested in. I'm more interested in the Sam Hyde fight. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to it. And as I said, rather than like complain about like, oh, you know, he could have been taking on like someone proper cruiserweight, and doing 1 fight instead of 2, I think just look at it as a warm-up fight for him. We are underway with this show as well. We're a few minutes in, and we've got Corbin against Ricochet. Not a great way to start this show, just to have a little moan here as well. I think that both of these are quite cold to me. I don't feel like either of these guys are like that popular. So like right now I'm kind of like, this is a match that you might want to just bury away somewhere. But I feel like he wants to show off Ricochet. I feel like Ricochet obviously does a lot of the flips, and I think he wants to get it front and center. So I think that's why he's starting with this. So that he can do stuff like that. Ricochet standing on the announce table as we go to commercial break. How do you think KSI looked on the media workout? I never watched it. I didn't bother with it because I'm more interested in finding out who these people are, and I just don't think you can really learn a great deal from like media workouts. I think the only thing that I would say about like that was I saw Pineda. Pineda was the one I was more interested in watching because I wanted to know what this professional boxer was going to be like. So I did seek out the Pineda footage, and he doesn't look great. He just doesn't look great. He doesn't look great. His last wins, I think, came about 5 years ago. He's lost his last 4, and he's been knocked out, TKO'd in his last 4 as well. So, and he's from weight division below. So, I mean, look, I feel like it's a tick in the box of, yes, he's fighting a professional boxer. And that is going to be enough, really, because that's going to be enough to get one over Jake Paul. And that's why he's doing it, isn't it? He's doing it because he wants to fight a professional boxer before Jake Paul. I don't think this is meant to be a challenge for him. I don't think this is meant to be something that he is like showing that where his skill set is. I think this is to get the ring rust off. And I think the 2-match thing is a gimmick because I think he knows that just him against Swarms is not good enough. That's, you know, that's not going to be enough for people to like maybe tune in. KSI fans will, but I think if you really want to kind of reach beyond KSI fans, then he needs to be tested, and so that's where the 2-fight fingers come in. And obviously he doesn't want to lose because that could jeopardize the Jake Paul thing. So yeah, warm up fights. I expect him to win both. I don't know if he gets finishes in both because he's only going to have, I think he's only going to have 3 rounds to work. And, you know, there might be some ring rust and it might take him a bit of time. So, I don't know. He might not get finishes in both. I think if he gets finishes in both, that'll be interesting. If he could get 2 finishes, I'll give him props for that. And I still give him props for fighting a professional boxer. So, I give him props for that as well. But it's very handpicked. Now Ronda, Charlotte, Sasha, Naomi, Toxic Attraction are absent from SmackDown. SmackDown needs help. Who would win out of Usyk Fury? Do you know what? I'd be really tempted to put money on Usyk. Be really, really tempted because I think Usyk goes in as an underdog, and Usyk is undefeated. He unified the cruiserweight division. He has comprehensively beaten Joshua twice. I had him. There's no doubt he wins that last fight to me. I've got him. I've watched loads of videos about it, and like a lot of people are saying that the judge that scored it for Joshua needs investigating. Teddy Atlas, who is like a legend in boxing and boxing training, he actually starts off his review by saying like, you know, we need some handcuffs here, and this has got to be stamped out, and he proper goes in for that judge, you know. I had it 7-5 Usyk. Eddie Hearn had it 7-5 Usyk, and I think that Usyk. I thought Joshua did much better in the second fight, but I think that if he was to face Fury, it would be a real tough challenge because Fury's obviously a big guy. Usyk feels confident that size doesn't mean anything and that he would be able to deal with it. But yeah, Fury's an even bigger guy. There will come a point where size matters. So I think it would be a lot harder and a lot closer. But yeah, I think I'd quite fancy a cheeky little bit on Usyk. Boxing is about hitting your opponent more than you get hit. And I really believe Usyk can do that. The question is, how many of the shots of Fury will Usyk be able to take before he gets stopped? That's the question. I think if it goes to the judges, Usyk wins that fight. Ricochet gets slammed onto the commentary table, and the commentary table doesn't break, which is a cool looking spot. He gets hurled into the barricade as well. So Corbin very much in control here. Very much in control. Corbin in the ring with Ricochet. New Day coming back on this show as well, by the way. So Ricochet against Corbin. We got the second chance fatal 4-way. We've got Drew against Sami. And we've also got the return of the New Day. So we've got all of that coming up tonight. Into the corner goes Ricochet. Ricochet picked up by Corbin. Slam face first into that top turnbuckle. And Ricochet goes down. 1, 2. Kick out by Ricochet. Sami has been the highlight, in my opinion, says it's Shaz. I agree. I've seen that Raw and SmackDown are moving to Netflix. Potentially. It's not confirmed. Joe Weller versus Mo Sayed. Look, tomorrow, Sunday, 74. You should stream it. No. We're doing the boxing tomorrow, and we're doing Clash at the Castle predictions on Sunday. Into the corner goes Ricochet. He goes into the ring post. Fun fact, the pro boxer has more wins than all of Jake Paul's opponents that he has fought. Yeah, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, I give him credit for fighting the pro boxer, but he's fighting a pro boxer that is at a weight class lower than his. And he's also fighting a pro boxer that's coming off 4 losses, straight losses, 4 technical knockouts as well. The guy's, 23, looks about 12. And he is slightly taller than KSI, but when you saw that face-to-face, KSI is so much bigger. I mean, it really feels like if KSI connects with some of his power shots, can get through. I mean, this boxer's going to have really good footwork, good head movement. He's going to have to be really evasive to stay away from KSI's power shots. Because if KSI can get through and connect, I really think he's putting this kid down. So I don't know how much you can really gloat about it. I think you have to look at it as warm-up fights, as just a way of getting ring rust off. Flip over by Ricochet. Step up in Zaguri. Corbin goes back to the corner. To be honest, do you think KSI gets 2 knockouts in one night? That'll be the interesting thing. I think if he does, then you can give him credit for that. To take on 2 different people and get 2 knockouts, I think you can give him credit for achieving that. I expect him to get 2 wins. Let's put it that way. 1, 2. Shoulder up by Ricochet. This is a pay-per-view. More long matches. Yeah, these are longer matches, which is fine. It's a nice showcase, and this is a nice showcase for Ricochet. I don't feel this feud. This feud it's not that old. It's not that deep. It's not that meaningful. I don't know that this is the story and the match that I would put front and center. Corbin goes down. Ricochet climbing up. Ricochet comes crashing down. Corbin moves out the way. Corbin with a kick. He's got Ricochet up on his shoulder, plants him down, looking for the cover. 2, and a shoulder up by Ricochet. Corbin upset with the referee. Pro Boxer weighed at 179, said fights at 175, so not sure. Did you watch the weigh-in? Yes. How did you think KSI looks? In good shape, or would you say he looked incredible? I wouldn't say he looked incredible. I thought he looked in good shape. I thought he looked all right. I didn't think he looked incredible. Looks aren't that important, though. I mean, look at Fury. Fury never looks that great. Fury always looks like he's got a bit of a gut on him, but it's about how you box. It's about your actual fighting style, isn't it? So it's really hard to tell what he's been working on and what he's going to be able to do. And again, it's one thing doing something in front of a punching bag. It's another thing doing it in front of someone that's trying to punch you back. So you're not really going to get a gauge until you watch tomorrow. I am looking forward to the show, though. I am really looking forward to it. The more I've looked into it, I really like the cards. Ricochet gets the pin and the win. So Ricochet wins, beats Corbin. Fury's superpower is in his gut. Yeah, it's not about how you look. It's literally, your hand speed, which has got nothing to do with your abs. It's your footwork. It's everything to do with your actual boxing ability, your head movement, your hand speed, your combinations that you can put together, setting traps, things along those lines. I mean, this kid might have some of that. I don't know. Looking at him, I don't get the feeling he does. Heavyweight losing to a lightweight Triple H era, says Junior. Would you like to see Fury at Clash? Yeah, definitely. Do you think The Fiend will return? Can you say hi? Hello, Connors Wrestling Federation. I think Bray will come back. Whether The Fiend comes back, I'm not sure. But I think that Bray comes back. But I don't know when. Clash is potential, but certainly not confirmed. Far from confirmed. Zero News tweeted a pic of a winged eagle. Sean Rossap said this SmackDown ain't live, nor will next week's. This isn't live. This SmackDown isn't live. Hello, here we are with Street Profits and Hit Row. Street Profits and Hit Row backstage. We're all about that money, 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 money. I don't know what it is about this show, man. This is like, so far for me, like one of the least interesting Triple H shows. Not even 20 minutes in, though. I mean, first match, fine. Ricochet against Happy Corbin. Both superstars are quite cold after years of just not being booked brilliant. Then we've had Street Profits backstage with Hit Row doing money, 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 money. Don't know. Let's see. It feels a bit underwhelming, says Shola. It just started. Well, you say that, but it's nearly 20 minutes in. I mean, as soon as you get to the half-hour mark, that's a quarter of the show gone. So the thing with SmackDown is it's not 3 hours. It's not 3 hours. You haven't got tons of time to just waste. So Rob said, this is live, but there's a double taping tonight. So next week will be taped. 4-hour show in Detroit, hence the slow start. Okay. So to not burn them out. Okay. Have you followed the Silly Superpot channel? If you have, what do you think of what's been happening? I haven't. I've got nothing but love for Grim. Mentioned him the other week when someone asked about like who is the goat of like wrestling on YouTube. I said Grim, and yeah, stand by that. I think he was the person that kind of really got me into figures, actually. So, without Grim, you wouldn't have been getting any of the Wrestling Days toy hunts. I can tell you that. Because he, along with Tommy, I watched Grim, and then Grim, as soon as I saw how great the Mattel figures were, because I must admit, I had Hasbro's when I was young. I never got Jakks figures. I got some of the early ones, but I managed to resist the urge of getting Jakks figures. And I was quite pleased at that because I must admit, I did look at some of them. I was like, not sure. Some of them were great. Some of them were fantastic. But like with all things, some of them are a bit, not sure. So I managed to resist Jax. And I knew Mattel had took over. And I saw the early Mattel ones. I actually thought they looked quite good. But the early Mattel ones didn't come with belts. I can't remember when like the first belt arrives. But anyway, it passed me by. I never saw the ones that came with the belts. And I was watching a Grimm video, and he showed his collection, and he showed all of the belts. And the belts look like tiny little replicas, like they're just like the belts. And as soon as I saw that, and I saw like how great the figures had become, because, you know, we're a couple of years in by this point, I was like, wow, you know, that they look so good. I was so impressed with what I was seeing from Mattel. I was like, I knew that I just wanted to get the ones with the belts, and that's what got me into collecting figures. So I would say that he had like the biggest influence on the channel, along with Tommy, because as soon as I was into figures, I was watching other people's toy hunts, and Tommy's toy hunts were very inspirational to what I was doing. So yeah, I've got a lot of time for Grimm, but to be honest, I don't have time for anyone at the moment. I don't have time to watch anything. I'm literally just trying to keep up with all the news so that we've got stuff to talk about. So yeah, I don't know what's happening. You'll have to let me know. Niall said, I would like to see Mason Ryan make an appearance. That would be good. I remember him being compared to Batista. Would love more Welsh representatives in WWE. Yes, I agree. Mason Ryan should be a part of that show. I completely agree. It'd be really nice, actually, if they did bring out a load of the old school UK wrestlers and just had, like, you know, like they do with the Hall of Fame, where they bring them out on stage and we all, like, applaud, like, the class of the Hall of Fame. I think it'd be really nice if they were to bring out, like, all of the UK stars that have competed for WWE in the past. Some of them you might not be able to get because, like, Pac, for example, was under an AEW contract. You might not be able to get him, and we know the relationship between AEW and WWE is not great. So, you know, you might not be able to do that. But I think if you could get Mason Ryan, Paige, if you could get Wade Barrett, and you could do a bit where they all come out on the stage, that could be really cool. We're just looking at a video package for Drew McIntyre. This is obviously just promoting him as the main event star. We know he's going to main event at Clash. And we're just seeing him in FCW. So, yeah, we have just got a little... I like this. I like this kind of looking back. It's like a mini biography. Timothy said, what are your thoughts on the rumour of CM Punk returning at Clash? Oh my God, where's that rumour doing the rounds? I haven't seen that. I'm going to give that 0.0001%. Because if he is still under an AEW contract, and unless that contract gets like immediately terminated, which I don't know that Tony would do, I just don't see it. I can't even say I've seen that rumor, to be honest. So 0.001% for CM Punk coming back. He's an AEW superstar. And I know he's had like a falling out with Hangman, and maybe that's what's kind of fueling these rumors. But I honestly haven't seen anything from like Meltzer or Sean Ross Sapp or anything in regards to a rumor like that. So I think that might be coming from the fans. Would you like a return of Dean Ambrose or Chris Jericho? I would take Jericho. I would take Jericho because I think he can do some really fun stuff in WWE. I think that he does sports entertainment very well. And even though we're maybe moving away from sports entertainment, I think that we should still have sports entertainment be a part of WWE. Sports entertainment to me is the kind of stuff Dexter Lumis is doing. Do you know what I mean? Like coming through the crowd and like, getting held back by security, or, like where Ronda came out and tipped all the money on the contract table and, he's got like security coming down. That to me is like sports entertainment. And I think we should still have those elements, and we should still have comedy and Festival of Friendship. Do you remember that? Festival of Friendship, Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho. To me, that's sports entertainment. And people love Festival of Friendship. Okay, we've got Karrion and Scarlett. They're actually cutting a promo, and I don't know where they are. They seem to be on a platform. It's really interesting. Never seen that angle before. So they're in black and white. They're cutting a promo in the arena, but they seem to be like up in the stands. This is very interesting. So Karrion with a few words for Drew. So Karrion promo. I've got to go, Charlie. Shout out to you. He's in the rafters like Sting 30 years ago. Do you acknowledge the honorary Sami Zayn? I love Sami Zayn. Yeah, I love Sami Zayn. Who doesn't love Sami Zayn? Drew McIntyre, that's who. Right, final chance, fatal. There we go, fatal four-way. What's your opinion about the Atlantic Ocean? Big fan. That's the one between the UK and America, isn't it? I wish it was a bit smaller so that I could like get to America in like an hour. That would be good. Takes about 8 hours roughly to get to Florida, around that. So if I leave Manchester or London and fly, you tend to go up. I don't know why you do go up, but you go up past like Greenland, Iceland, and then you kind of come down past New York, and you go down like the East Coast to Florida. That's kind of the way it goes. I don't know why. I think it's got something to do with the curvature of the Earth. That means that is actually the quickest way. When you're on the plane and you're looking at it, it looks like you're going like the long way rather than just. But I think because of the curvature of the Earth, like that is actually the best way to go. But yeah, so that's my honest opinion. I wish it was shorter, so I could just do like an hour. That'd be great. I'd go way more if that was the case. I'd be there every week. I heard a rumor about Wolverine versus Aquaman at WrestleMania. The Atlantic Ocean is nice. You always fly over land as much of Earth instead of emergency landing. I saw a video that told me that wasn't true. I saw a bit because I wondered that, but apparently that's not true. It's nothing to do with emergency landings. It is to do with the curvature of the Earth, which is why it bows like that. So I am going to say false on that one. But if you can, feel free to send me an article that confirms that point. But I definitely watched a video that told me that wasn't true, because I did think the same. The Pacific is too big. I don't care about the Pacific. Similar to when you fly to Asia, you go up to the Arctic Circle and you loop back down. Says, but do you? Do you know, I've never been to Asia. That's interesting. Don't lose your pen. I know, yeah. I'm always munching on things. I always just feel like I have to play around with something. Bad habit. Bring back the Concords. Yeah, isn't that weird? Don't you think it's weird that we had a plane that could like get us there in, I don't even know how long. I mean, it was like 4 hours, something like that. We had this like, but it was so expensive. I think it was losing money. And so we don't have it now. Like, that just blows my mind. We created this incredible machine that could get us there quicker than anything we've got now. And because it, like, was so expensive to maintain, we don't use it anymore. So now we just have to go super slow. And I thought as time went on, things got better and quicker and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, Concorde, man, amazing. Kevin said, between continents, airplanes follow what's called the Great Circle route, according to the Earth's curvature. These routes won't make sense if you look at a flat map. Yeah, I agree. I think that's what it is, yes. Because when you're sat on the plane, because I've been to Florida quite a few times, been fortunate enough to go a few times, you sit on the plane and you look at like where England is, and you look at where Florida is, and it looks like you should just go like that, and it's like, I'm pretty sure we could do that in, like, say, 4 hours. But instead you go like this. You go up and then you boomerang back down again. And you kind of look at it and go, why are we doing that? And I must admit, I thought that it was all to do with flying over land in case you needed to make an emergency landing. I thought that. But then I did see this video that said it was to do with the curvature. Question, would you put yourself top 10 all-time wrestling YouTube? No. I couldn't, could I? Because there's way bigger channels than us. So, no. I think there's other people that have made a bigger impact, that have got a bigger following. I'd put myself in the top 100, though. I'll take that. Sneaking in at 99. Maybe 69. We have got 4 Triple H girls in this match. Xia Li, Shotzi, Nikki ASH, and Doudrop. So the winner will be any of those 4. I think the winners here, surely, Doudrop and Nikki ASH. Surely. They're both Scottish. In fact, if I was Triple H, I would probably look to make them faces and take them to the final. Oh, but the final's not going to be at Thingy, is it? You've got to get them on that card, though. You've got to get them at Clash. Yeah, momentarily, I thought the final was at Clash, but it's not, is it? But even so, they could win. They can't win. EO needs to win. We've got to get them on that card. I think the winners are going to be EO and Dakota. But we do have to get Nikki and Doudrop on that card. Oh, she gets thrown against the ropes and she has a little trip. Nikki ASH there. She tripped over Xia Li as she was thrown. She gets hurled into the ropes. Xia Li in there with Nikki ASH. Winners have got to face Raquel and Aaliyah. Yeah. I think thinking about it, Raquel Aaliyah will go through to face Dakota and EO, because you need a face team to go up against Dakota and EO. And more importantly, the final isn't at Clash, so it doesn't really matter. But my point remains, we've got to get Doudrop and Nikki onto that card somehow. Even if it's just like a pre-show match. Do you know what I mean? Like a kickoff show match. Just do that. Do Nikki and Doudrop against a couple of people on the kickoff show. Super Kick. We've been doing a few kickoff shows that haven't been having matches. So it'd be nice to put a match on that. I think they should put a match on the kickoff show. Doudrop in there with Xia Li and Shotzi. Shotzi, nice. Planting Doudrop. Doudrop rolls out. I don't know if there's any tags going on here. I don't know what's happening. We've got Shotzi grabbing a hold of Natalya. Natalya reverses it, hurls Shotzi out the ring. Clothesline by Dana. Dana clapping away, stepping through the ropes. Dana going up, climbing up. Strike by Nikki ASH. Nikki is up top. Big shot coming in. Sonya making the tag. Nikki ASH. What is she going for? Big C. Oh, stupid spot. Hate that spot. Load of superstars waiting on the outside. End up catching someone that's suplexed out. In all fairness, you don't tend to see them suplexed out. They tend to jump themselves, don't they? Sonya has managed to quickly grab Nikki ASH, throw her into the ring, and it is Sonya and Natalya that have got the victory. So Sonya and Natalya will go forward to take on Raquel. Come on, Triple H. So Sonya pinning Nikki ASH. So Sonya and Natalya win. Heels had to win. Sonya and Natalya. Kickoff shows are lackluster, says Jordan. Yeah, I don't think putting Nikki and Doudrop on is going to make it less lackluster, but they will get a reaction from the crowd because obviously they are from Scotland. Right. We're going forwards. We're just getting to look at last week's match with Sami. That was such a great crowd. I forgot that's been a week. Sami getting a great reaction. That fatal 5-way match. Just going to put in the results that we've had so far so we can have them scrolling at the bottom. Sonya and Natalya win fatal 4-way. There we go. Bang, 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 bang. It's been poorly executed. I don't believe in stuff. All the best parts at the end. Last chance fatal 4-way booked by Bruce and Vince. Given 5 minutes, says British Outball Pranks. Shockwaves from the moves that knock the people down that don't get hit, says Kyle. Okay, yeah. I'm getting closer with my ex and I love it. Give me advice, says JS17. Do what you think's best, bud. If you're getting back with your ex, then fair play. Just because it's your ex, I wouldn't say don't do it. The match, Skirt, he's not great at selling or coordination last tag, not even in the ring, but okay, says nobody. If you lift a kangaroo's tail off the ground, it can't hop. Kangaroos use their tails for balance whilst hopping, so if you elevate their tail, they have no balance. Butch making his way down. Is he called Pete Dunne yet? Sheamus. Yeah, Sheamus and Gunther. Okay, so Sheamus, I don't know if we're getting a promo or something, but Sheamus is in the ring. Fella! Right, Sheamus in the ring with Pete Dunne and Ridge Holland. Me and Dave are getting close. Do we move in, says Just Nick. Go, listen, same advice, mate. Go with your heart. Do whatever your heart says is the right thing to do. Yeah? That's between you and Dave. And I think we all knew that those feelings were going to grow as you're doing that podcast together. So I just can't wait for the kids. I can't wait to see what the kids look like. What would your reaction be hearing Written in My Face theme return at Clash? I'm not someone that cares for different themes. Like all these different themes and Drew's theme. Drew's theme's the topic of conversation at the moment. Doesn't I can't remember what Drew's old theme's called now. Is it Broken Dreams? But it doesn't do it for me. That is one that, you know, people seem to be really excited by. But it's not one that really grabs me. Any old theme, Sheamus old theme, as you say, the Drew old theme, I don't know. The Jeff Hardy one was one I was interested in. But I can't say that I was... Well, the Jeff Hardy one I could understand. The Drew, I've said before, the Drew one I find really interesting because I seriously never had anyone... I cannot recall anyone saying to me, I wish Drew would bring his old theme back. I can't remember anyone saying that. Maybe they did when Drew first arrived. Maybe when he was in NXT and his new theme was given to him. But this isn't something that people were clamoring for. But now it just seems to have got a bit of a trend going and a bit of a following. And it seems like, I don't know, it's got a bit of momentum now. So, but I'm quite clear. I don't care. I don't make any difference to me. It won't make the show any better or any worse. Loved your shirt, even though I'm Scottish and should be supporting Drew. I'm a Sami guy, says It's Shaz. Why isn't SmackDown live? Apparently it is. It's next week that's not live. Who and when will dethrone Gunther? Hopefully no one for a long time. So for me, I wouldn't do it until at least SummerSlam next year. And the person that should dethrone him... I don't know, to be honest. You could have Johnny do it. You could have Johnny Gargano do it. That could be interesting. You could also have Gable Steveson do it. Depends how quick you want to move with Gable. If Gable debuts at the Rumble, I think him winning a mid-card belt by SummerSlam would be fine. Because if you think Brock debuted and then, I don't know, I can't even remember how long it was that he won the title. It's 7-8 months, something like that. So, yeah, I think that would be fine as well. So, I don't know, you've got a few different options. I would say Sami, but to be honest, I really want Sami to be like Universal Champ or WWE Champ. I think Sami winning WWE would be really cool. I don't know quite how we're going to get there or if we're going to get there. We probably won't get there, but I hope we get there. Right, we're back from commercial break. Other people only realising next week is taped. They will literally be on a plane over here this time next week, if not here already. I don't think people really thought about it because they're doing Clash, but that's on the Saturday. So, I mean, I don't know. Could they not fly? I suppose it's a bit last minute in it for them to fly straight after. I don't know if there's a late flight they could have got straight after the show. Or what we've seen as well before is you actually bring like a lot of the stars over and you work with like some of those stars that aren't going to be used because you can't get everyone onto the show. So you could just put like, you know, on SmackDown, the stars that aren't going to be used on that show. So we've seen them do that before. It doesn't make for the greatest of shows, but Shayna is going to break Liv's arm. She is a killer, says Knight Rider. What do you think of Option X that impacted and could that work? I don't even know what that is. I don't watch Impact, so I don't know what that is. EWF said, do you think anyone will return tonight or at Clash? I'm not expecting anyone tonight. Clash, I think you could get Charlotte. I think you could get... I think there's a very, very small chance of Bray. I gave Bray like a 20% chance. I think the closer I'm getting to it, I'm actually going lower. I'm probably at 10% chance now. There's just no rumors or anything of him being there. But, you know, I mean, look, that's what makes it a surprise. So, but I think Charlotte is definitely an opportunity. Okay, we are hearing from Sheamus then. Sheamus is going to be taking on Gunther. There's no way he wins. Gunther wins that. Butch and Ridge pushing each other around. I will beat the sauerkraut. of the Ring General. Here is Gunther. Gunther making his way down with Ludwig Kaiser. So Sheamus and Gunther. Gunther standing in the entranceway. Butch, obviously, isn't it crazy that, like, some of the best matches that we saw was Gunther against Butch? I mean, the way that they've positioned Butch now, like, seeing Butch trying to step up to Gunther just looks ridiculous. Like, you just think Gunther's going to destroy him because of, like, the size difference and everything. But that was not... It was a factor, but it was very believable that these two could just, like, go toe-to-toe, and they did. And they had a hell of a matches. They've ruined Pete Dunne. They've ruined him. We can save it, though. We can save it. Please save it, Triple H. No one has got a clue what you're saying, says Sheamus. Shut up. Good man. My beef is with you, lad. You call yourself the Ring General? But the truth is, you're looking at the real Ring General. Gunther is so cool. Sheamus going through a list of people that he's beaten. John Cena. Roman Reigns. And even the King of Kings, Triple H. Triple H getting a mention. Did you see what Bobby Fish said? Despite Tony Khan being his boss, he would go to war for Triple H. I didn't actually, no, but that's cool. A lot of those ex-NXT stars kind of feel that way. I think he's got such a great relationship with them because I think he's always been very honest with them and he's always arm round the shoulder. I think he is an arm round the shoulder kind of a guy. I think he is like a, picks you up when you're down kind of a guy. He's not all about, like... I think it's because he was one of the boys. I honestly, I think it's because he was one of the boys. Vince was never really one of the boys. He's always been Vince. Tony Khan has never been one of the boys. I think he wants to be, but he's never been one of the boys. Whereas Triple H has done it, and he's been on the road. He knows, like, mentally how hard it is, and I think that he kind of knows when to put the arm around the shoulder. He knows when he's needed it as well. He's needed those moments. He can look for those signs where people are doubting themselves. We all know that Triple H did that for Undertaker, for example. Undertaker was going through like a real crisis. Triple H put his arm around his shoulders like, you're the dead man. I think it was like during 27 or 28 WrestleMania. Undertaker was really like struggling. I think the injuries were really starting to get to him. Probably be about 28 maybe. So, I can believe it. Yeah, I can understand why. Gunther says, you're a man to be respected, but you're nothing like me. I am. The Intercontinental Champion. To protect this title, I will teach you what violence really means. I will chop your chest into bloody bits. Wow. I will break the man no one thinks can be broken. I love how Gunther is just staring at Sheamus. Ludwig and Butcher wailing away, and Sheamus and Gunther are just staring at each other. Ludwig clotheslining Ridge. All the time that's happening, you've got these two just staring in the ring. That's cool. These two just staring at each other as Butch and Ludwig going at it. Nice. Soon as the guy with the foreign accent speaks, the what chant starts, said British Soundboard Pranks. John Cena, John Moxley, John Morrison, Johnny Gargano, John Lennon, John Terry, Johnson from The Peep Show. Who wins in a wrestling match? John Lennon. John Lennon wins because what he'll do is he'll have a word with them all and they'll all agree that fighting is futile and that they should give peace a chance. Look at this. In the background, we've got Doudrop arguing with Nikki ASH. That's interesting. So, they are really... Are they going to... Do you reckon that'll be a match at Clash? Nikki against Doudrop. That's an interesting little argument, isn't it? That's like perfectly framed so that you definitely can't miss it. So they're interviewing Natalya and Sonya about their match later, and in the background, you've got like the most animated argument of all time. So we got a Sonya, Natalya promo. Right, here are Bayley with Dakota and they're still not saying damage control. Still not saying damage control. It's John Tenter. Earthquake. Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah taking on Sonya and Natalya. When's that now? Is that now? Now? No. They're not doing that match, are they? Not making them have two matches in a row. Ledger Killer, hello. We still need Bayley against Michael Cole. We definitely need that. I saw that little clip doing the rounds where Bayley was like in the front row and she was like, Michael! My ding dong! She's so fun with that. We absolutely need those two. Michael Cole needs his second WrestleMania match against Bayley. That could be fun. That could be really fun. So, Gunther and Sheamus face to face. Boom, boom, boom. Is it me or is this Detroit crowd depressing? They have no reaction. I think we've been spoiled a bit with crowds, in all fairness. Like the Canadian crowds last week were fire. They were so good. This definitely feels like a bit of a step down. Coach Co said, during your lifetime, you will produce enough saliva to fill 50 bathtubs. Have you heard New Japan are doing a show in the UK? Yes. I only found out about it the other day, but I think it's called Royal Quest 2. I remember the first Royal Quest. I don't know where this one is, but the last one was in the Olympic Park. It was where you've got the Olympic Stadium in London. You had a few other venues like the Velodrome, the swimming pools, and all of that. There was, I can't remember what it's called now. I can't remember. I went there. It's where they did the handball, and I had tickets to go to the handball. which sounds rubbish. And I must admit, it was not the greatest thing I saw at the Olympics. But what was fantastic was the venue was in the Olympic Park. So if you had tickets to go there, you got to go into the Olympic area, the Olympic Park where the stadium was. It's brilliant, so good. That Olympic Park was honestly some of the best days of my life was going to that. Because you had the stadium, you had loads of venues, and connecting them was a park with like a lovely river, canal thing, walkways, flower beds, loads of places to get your picture taken in front of like the Olympic rings. Athletes, didn't know who any of them were, but they were all in like their nationality tracksuits walking around. So loads of athletes just in groups walking about. Apparently the world's largest McDonald's was there temporarily as well. Like this big kind of made out of wood, this massive wooden kind of restaurant that was there for just a few weeks. And I heard it was the biggest in the world. I went in. It was nice. As nice as McDonald's gets. And obviously like a big merch place. And the weather was roasting. So, yeah, brilliant. So now the Olympics is obviously not there. That is now just a park. But the venues are all still used. And I heard that it was in that one that did the handball. And it might be there again, I don't know. It would have been bad if Butch accidentally tripped Sheamus whilst that stare down was happening. That would have been bad. World's biggest McDonald's. Did they do the world's biggest nuggets? Unfortunately, the food did not grow any bigger. That would have been cool. The tray would have been like this big and the milkshakes like that. That would have been cool. Would have been very expensive. But no, it was good. It was good. Pretty sure I was in a McDonald's that sold pizza. Yeah, I think I've seen that when I was in Florida. Not sure if it's false memory. No, I would say yes. I would say that was true. I would say that was true. I don't know if they still do. Bailey against Michael Cole at 39. Hollywood and Raquel Rodriguez versus Liv. Raquel Rodriguez, the 2023 Royal Rumble winner. Do you think Liv's going to hold the title that long? I think she gets past Clash. She might do. She might do. Christian, Chris Jericho, Chris Rock, Cristiano Ronaldo, Christian Bale, Chris Masters, and Christ himself, who wins in a wrestling match. Oh, Christ. Of course it's going to be Christ. Because what he'll do is he will sacrifice himself for all the others. So that actually means he'll lose. Everyone but Christ wins. There we go. Christ loses by sacrificing himself for their sins. Here we are backstage with Sami. Here's the Usos. Roman's on fire for you. Yeah, he did lose in that Intercontinental match. Jay giving him some beef. I thought Roman might want to see me. Had a bonding thing going on. Roman is... What's up, Sami? Roman's being called in. There he is. You know what to do. He sits down. Oh, it's all a bit awkward, isn't it? I love this story, though. I could eat this up, man. How's everything going? He's great. He's doing great. My jaw's a bit sore. Do you remember last week? Took a Claymore. Do you remember it? He did lose. Yeah, that is a problem. Roman says, sometimes bad things happen. That's right. Yeah. I was alone last week. I appreciate what you did. Oh, look at his face. Look at his... It's like every Christmas has arrived at the same time. He flipping loves it. Yeah. I'm happy to do it. You can count on me for anything. Oh, he needs a favor. Name it. I need Drew occupied. Yeah, so he needs Drew to be occupied. He's doing his little dance. He said he's going to be so comfortable in the ring. By the time he gets to Cardiff, you will break him in half. This is something we could do together. I love as well how he is wearing the old shirt. They're all wearing the new shirts. It shows that he's not quite in the group. He's not in step with everything. It's a little detail like that I think is really cool. Thank you, Oos. You have got the opportunity to be the main event tonight. Oos. I don't even know what this hand thing is. Oos. Thank you, Oos. Thank you. He tries to go up to Jay to do whatever that was, and Jay's like, just get out the door. Ah, those segments, man. I mean, honestly, what's just happened there? Not loads, to be honest. Not loads. It's just Roman saying, thanks for helping me last week, and I need you to deal with Drew tonight. But it's all slow. You don't quite know where it's going. It's super engaging. You really feel a connection to it. You can sense what it all means to Sami. If they're going to turn on Sami and beat Sami up after that, oh my God, to the moon, man. I love Sami. Sami is doing God's work in those segments. So good. They need to start pushing Christ. He's being buried. I don't think he was buried. He was left in a cave. Here's Ali and Raquel. So we are doing this match now. How is this fair? How is this fair? Can someone tell me how this is fair? How is this fair? So they've had to just win a match, and their prize is they get to face Aaliyah and Raquel, but it's got to be now. How's... Flip. I mean, I suppose they should just be happy they've got a second chance, but flip. Right, Bayley and her buddies are on commentary. That back, I know. Absolutely incredible. I love that back so much that not only do I get to watch it live, but on the app, on the BT app, there's a slight delay so I can actually watch it twice. If KSI can fight two people in one night, I think pro wrestlers can do it. In fairness, I don't know how much they actually used up of their energy. They don't look that exhausted, and they're certainly not complaining about it. I'm complaining on their behalf. As the tag tournament finals on Monday, can you see Sasha Naomi showing up Monday, or is it too early? I think there's a chance. I've said that I think there's a chance that they could show up once these are crowned. I think once you've actually got new champions crowned, then I think that's when, you know, you've got the new champs celebrating, and then Ba-ba-bum, ba-ba-bum, ba-ba-dum, ba-ba-bum, ba-ba-bum. Had a dream, I had a baby. And that comes on. Shouldn't they complain since they're heels? I think they should be. Yes, I do think that. Yes, good point. I think they should. Why am I complaining for them? They should be complaining. They should be saying how this is unfair. Why are they meant to wrestle twice in one night and so close to each other as well? One count. Raquel and Strowman are dating. Bailey said they're damaged goods. KSI will have a 3-hour break after the first fight. Well, look, I don't mind him having a break. The only thing that I would, because he doesn't have to fight 2 fights in a flipping row. Like, I'm not expecting that from him. The only thing I will say, and I don't know if it is true or not, but I think that every fight is 4 rounds from what I've seen. And as I said, the main event should really be more than that. The main event, you should be looking at 6. So if he's going to do 4 rounds against the first guy, 6 rounds for the main event, no complaints. Right? Fair play, yeah? But if he's doing 3 rounds, isn't that just one fight split into 2 halves? Yeah, against 2 different opponents, but with 3 hours in between. Like, that to me just feels like we're doing one fight. Like, one fight could go 6 rounds. So I saw something that said it was going to be 3 rounds max for the first fight and 3 rounds max for the second fight. That I would have a little moan about. Because that, to me, is basically the 6-round main event just split in half. So, I don't know. We'll have to see. But if it's going to be, say, 4 rounds for the first and 6 rounds for the main, and potentially he could have to box 10 rounds, which would be, you know, the 2 fights, then I've got all respect in the world for that. And a 3-year gap in between, I've got no problems with that. The boxing commission wouldn't allow it to be 6 rounds because he's boxing twice. So it's not 6 rounds. That's rubbish, isn't it? That's rubbish. That to me then is a glorified way of him having a break, because the main event should be 6 rounds. So rather than him doing one fight that could go 6 rounds against a good opponent, he's doing 2 fights that are 3 rounds, and there's going to be a 3-hour gap in between. So that's cheeky. Let's put it that way. That's cheeky, isn't it? If he wants respect, like, honestly, if he wants respect from people that aren't fans of his, which I'm not, I don't hate him or anything, but I'm not a fan of his. I don't watch his videos. If he wants respect from people, and maybe he doesn't care, but if he does want respect, face one person that's a challenge that you are testing yourself against, and it can go 6 rounds, right? Even 6 rounds is not loads for like a boxing thing, but for his level, 6 rounds is absolutely fine, right? I've got no complaints with 6 rounds. But I think to face someone who has had 2 weeks boxing training, right? That's apparently how much this Swarms has had, 2 weeks of boxing training. To face someone like that for 3 rounds potentially, and it might not even go that long, but to face them for 3 rounds at the start of the show, then have a 3-hour break to recover, and then do another 3 rounds in the main event. So in total, the maximum that he can fight is 6 rounds. That's the maximum that he can fight. He cannot fight any more than 6 rounds. If he goes the distance in both fights, he fights for 6 rounds, which to me is what you would do in one fight. That's one fight. That's what a main event fight would be. So saying it's 2 separate opponents, 2 fights and everything is, well, it's true, but there's more to it than that, isn't there? I don't know. I mean, I have to keep telling myself that it is what it is. It's not about, like, I think, trying to win over new fans or trying to gain respect. I think they're just warm-up fights. I think they're just fights literally to get rid of the ring rust and, you know, hopefully for him, get a couple of knockouts that he can then use on social media to build up for next year against Jake Paul, which I think is where it'll go to. But I think if KSI fans think that he is going to gain respect for this, I think there's respect to be found in there. But there's lots of stuff about this I don't like. There's lots about this I don't like. We've got, right, we're back from commercial break. We've got Bailey at ringside. Royal Quest is at the Crystal Palace Indoor Arena. I don't know where that is. I don't know where that is. I'm guessing it's not the same place. 1, 2, shoulder up. Don't Misfits Boxing, who's part of the show, owned by KSI. It's his show. If he wins, do you think he'll be called a cheat and that they've rigged it? I don't think so. I hope not. I hope we don't get those allegations because I do believe this will be legit. So, no, I'm not expecting that. I mean, will Jake Paul fans say that? I'm sure they will. You've got to remember there's going to be a lot of kids watching this. So, yeah, it's rigged, all that kind of stuff. But no, I don't think it's rigged. I don't think they're paying people to take dives or anything. I really hope not. I hope that never comes out or is ever proven to be what happens. But no, I don't think it'll be that. I just think he is taking on someone that's had 2 weeks boxing training and he's taking on a professional boxer from a weight class below what they're fighting at. And maximum he can do is 6 rounds. Headlock applied here by Sonia. Maria said, I'm a Jake Paul fan. Cody said, this SmackDown is taped. Edward said KSI would fold Jake with a wet paper towel. BBB Yipsy, hello. UFC started off with you had to win several fights in one night to be crowned champion. Yes, and it was such a bad idea that they stopped doing it because fighters were getting injured and people were winning the tournaments that weren't even competing in early stages of it. Like, they were having to bring in substitutes for, like, all the fighters. So it was not a good idea. Kick coming in by Raquel Rodriguez. KSI wanted to fight another fighter that dropped out, so he had Swarms come in, but the show wasn't good enough, so he got a pro in, all this for warm-up fights. But that's what I have to keep telling myself, is like warm-up fights. But to be honest, he was taking on this Alex Wasabi. I don't know much about that guy. I don't know how much of a challenge he would have been. To be honest, it might not have been a challenge, because I think there was some like beef involved. So it might not be about challenging himself and testing himself and trying to improve as a fighter, if you will. It might have just been like a beef thing. Knee strike by Sonya. 1, 2, shoulder up. But the thing is that his standby was this Swarms. So his standby is someone that's had 2 weeks worth of training. Why is the standby not a better caliber opponent? Again, it's like we've swapped out someone that had beef with him for someone that's got beef with him. It is difficult for me to do these flipping YouTuber ones because Raquel gets the win. It's hard for me to do because I don't follow the beef, so like the beef doesn't mean much to me. I'm so used to watching, like, you know, proper fighters testing themselves that's what I want to see KSI doing. You know, if he's serious about the boxing thing, then test yourself. It's 2 fights in one night it's a gimmick, innit? Okay, so Io and Dakota are taking on Raquel and Aaliyah. So that means that our fatal 4-way, unsurprisingly, was largely irrelevant. So Raquel and Aaliyah beats Sonya and Natalia. Right, we've got maximum male models backstage. Let's see what this is going to give us. You are looking great. Why are they in the car park? They're in the flipping car park. So, you are killing it. Okay, Hit Row have got their own coach and they're playing music. Yeah, but why would you do it in the flipping car park anyway? She's got an idea. What's her idea? Hit row. Okay, so maximum male models were disturbed by Hit Row. Hit Row. Right, let's go to our winners scroll, shall we? Put in Raquel and Aaliyah. Beat Natalia and Sonia. Hero. Boom. Wrestler with Andy, hello. I wonder if Triple H has replaced Vince as the person that talks in the commentator's ears. I would imagine that he tries to leave them to it, to be honest. I don't think having like someone talking in your ear all the time is going to bring out the best in you. So I would have to think he probably does, but probably doesn't talk as much. In fact, I'm almost certain that he will, because he probably is going to want to sit there and be able to talk to the commentators and get messages to the referee and speak to the wrestlers before they go out. That's kind of your key people that you communicate to. Like, you definitely want to be able to communicate to your commentators, because you're definitely going to want them to get over certain points and highlight certain things that you really want to get across on TV. So, yeah, I would say almost certainly yes. But I think he is, but I think he surely is talking to them less. James said, no trash cans have been set on fire tonight. How disappointing. Best 30 seconds of any fight has got to be in 2002. Dom Fry against Takayama. The Stick Wrestler Creator says, hello, Wrestling Days. Hello, Stick Wrestler Creator. Hope you are well. Cody said, Bloodline and Sami are going to beat up Drew with a chair tonight. We've only got just over 40 minutes to go, you know. Peter said, imagine Dexter collecting people for Bray, bringing them to an asylum where Bray first became the Fiend, and then breaking them, causing them to go insane and develop their own darkness. Hero. Don't ban me or put me in a timeout, says Maria. Do you think Solo will join the Bloodline? I think there's a good chance of it. Yeah, there's rumours that he's going to get called up. So, rumours that he is on the way. So, yeah, I do think there's a good chance of that happening. Clash card looks mid, said John Moxley. Surely they need a surprise. I think Gunther Sheamus is pretty good. I think Drew Roman's pretty good as well, because I think there is genuinely a chance that the titles could change hands, or at least one could change hands. I don't know how you only get one off of him, but I think there's definitely a chance. I mean, I feel like to end Clash at the Castle, you kind of do need like a big moment at the end. It's the first show in the UK for 30 years. Everyone remembers how that last show ended at SummerSlam with Bulldog winning and a real emotional moment. So, you know, Drew winning the championship at Clash, I can see it. I can absolutely see it. I do think there will be surprises, though. Yes, they might leave Sasha and Naomi for Clash. They might leave Sasha and Naomi for Clash. They might leave Charlotte for Clash. Right, we're back, and block the noise out. Oh, here we go. Here's Los Lotharios. Los Lotharios have got a solution. What is it? What is that? I don't even know what that was. I don't know what that solution was. It was something in a can. Something in a can. Got a can of what? Deodorant. What are they? Smoke bombs, maybe. Xavier is in the ring. So Los Lotharios have got a solution. I've got, what is it? Paint and primer. Paint and primer. What's their flipping plan? Right, New Day rocks. And he's in a wheelchair. Normally we're out here dancing and we're happy. This is difficult for us. We made fun of how new and vicious they are. Xavier said we really underestimated them. I had a 300-pound man go Air Viking. We've had to face a harsh reality. We saw the funeral. We saw them burning boxes of bootios. So they said they underestimated. We saw them burning our legacy. We had a chance to do a lot of great things. Here's Viking Raiders. Now, is Sarah Logan going to be with them? Here is just the two of them. Just the two. Just the two of them. We gave you a proper send-off. And instead of leaving with honor, you're civiling. You can't give us a few minutes, says Xavier. One thing a Viking despises is weakness. It makes us sick. Legend Killer says, raid. Xavier kind of sucks, says Cliff. Kofi wearing the Nike Dunk highs, says Rivy. The only thing to do to a wounded animal is to put them down. Viking Raiders making their way to the ring. Kofi is pulling back Xavier, putting him into the corner. Yeah, go on. Mess them up. Mess them up. They're there. They're weak. Oh, Xavier gets up. He's got a couple of kendo sticks. He throws... Kofi catches... He almost didn't, but he does catch the kendo stick. And New Day have got a couple of kendo sticks. They're walloping away on the Viking Raiders. So, New Day. Kendo stick the Viking Raiders. The wheelchair is chucked out the ring, but Xavier's foot is still in a boot. So, I don't know how injured he actually is. Still to come, Drew against Sami Days. If WWE decide to push their tag team division, could you see the New Day move into that to put over new teams? The New Day have been dead for a long time for me. I mean, as soon as you took Big E out of the New Day, and you could argue even just before that, to me, they've just been really not what they were at all. They used to be about fun and pancakes and bootios, and it's felt for a long time like they've needed something to kind of get their teeth into. They've needed something to shout about. They've needed like a product, or they've needed an angle. You know, we've had unicorn horns, we've had the trombone, we had bootios, we've had pancakes, we've had Xavier doing up, down, down, and references to that. I mean, I just feel like there's been quite a few things in those early years. And then the past couple of years, we've took Biggie away from them, and there's been nothing new for them to come out and, you know, talk about or have fun with. I mean, they did the New Day Pops as well. Do you remember they used to come down with like the little ice cream stall thing? And we've done like New Day Pops. There's nothing for them. They just feel absolutely just stale, dead in the water at the moment. So I have no problem with New Day sticking around. No problem with them sticking around, but you've got to give them something for them to shout about. You've got to give them something to work with. And they just haven't had anything for a long time. So I think if you split them up, we've looked at that, and we've had a glimpse at that with Xavier winning King of the Ring. And that was a nice moment, and people were into it, but I think it very quickly became stale. I think Kofi can do some stuff on his own. And I think he'll be all right because he was on his own for a long time before. I don't think them going on their own is the right way forwards. I would keep them as a tag team, but I would really give them some stuff to shout about, give them some stuff to do, and hopefully kind of get them back to where they were. I think losing Big E was a big loss. Maybe you give them a new member. Maybe there's someone that you can put in the New Day to take them back to 3 members again, and maybe that new person could inject some new life. What about if you put Apollo in the New Day? Maybe you could put Apollo in there, and that could give Apollo something to do. Like, I don't mind that. Apollo's been a bit directionless, doesn't quite know which way is the right way forward, but, you know, you could maybe put Apollo in there. And that might breathe some new life into the New Day. New Day? They're the New Day. R-Truth. R-Truth's fun. And R-Truth fits their kind of comedy, doesn't he, as well? R-Truth's, yeah, you could have a lot of fun with R-Truth in the group. I don't mind that either, yeah. He's down in NXT right now. Mm-hmm. They could have a Moss. A Moss, I'm not sure about a Moss. A Moss is big and serious and scary. I don't know if he's going to be able to do the comedy stuff that well. I want them to get back to the comedy stuff. That's what I want them to get back to. I feel like a Moss is a giant and he's being treated like a serious threat. I don't know how that dynamic would work. Right, we are going back. How long we've got just over half an hour to go. Next Friday at 2:30, Undertaker One Dead Man Show from Cardiff, Wales. So Undertaker's One Dead Man Show. Limited tickets available. Hit Romobile. Has Sheamus turned face? I don't think so. I think they're just... Oh, that's what they've done. They've spray painted on the side. Oh, that's a hell of a plan, isn't it? Hit Row Sucks has been sprayed on the side of their coach. That is pretty weak. This isn't even our bus. So they've spray painted Hit Row Sucks on the side of the Street Profits bus. Is that going to bother the Street Profits? Well, there we go. They've spray painted Hit Row Sucks on the side of the Street Profits bus. Right, we've got Usos with Sami. When you wear that shirt, you've got to level up. You blew it last week. Don't blow it again. Why are you coming at me with this negativity? Don't disrespect me to my family like that. He's getting very upset, Jay. Jay is very upset. So, Jay, I'm going to pop at Sami. The fans were cheering for Sheamus. I mean, I think they might be cheering Sheamus because Gunther's maybe a more effective heel. But I don't think it's a face turn. Who fell down to the bottom? Redemption. Oh, for Drew? So, well, I tell you, all of this is making me think Drew's winning the titles. You know, they're really putting over the journey that he's been on. And don't forget, when he wins the title, there's no fans at WrestleMania 36 when he beats Brock. There's no fans to give him that reaction. So, you know. Yeah, all of this is making me think Drew's going to be successful. I think they're trying to fill time, says Lone Star Friends. Jay looks jacked. Do you agree? I can't say I noticed much of a difference, but I mean, they're both looking pretty good at the moment. They're certainly looking better than they have in the past, but I can't say that he's looking especially jacked. Not doing the Mighty Mouse fight tonight. No. Sami should dye his hair black, then he will look the part, says Shanaz. Do you think Tyson Fury will wrestle at Clash? I don't think so, because I think it'd all be a bit quick to do that. But I think there's a chance he's there, maybe gets involved in something, but I'm not expecting him to have a match. Moxley was on a Rampage taping. It might not air. There's a clip after Claudio Dustin match. He said, watch Wednesday. Promise me you'll support AEW. Bring your friends. Forget Monday night garbage. I don't even understand that. I don't understand that. Moxley was at Rampage taping. There's a clip of Claudio and Dustin. They both work for AEW. Rumors, Tyson Fury is likely to be at Clash. He wants Logan Paul because of their boxing background. Thoughts? It'll get attention. It'll get attention, but listen, if you're gonna do Logan against Tyson Fury, then I want it to be an exhibition match. I don't want it to be in WWE because that's just scripted, isn't it? So what does that achieve? I mean, it'll be fun for people, but if you've got like something like those two that have properly fought and properly boxed, I'd rather see them have a proper boxing exhibition match. BBB Yipsy said, Days commercial, do... Hang on. 1, 2... It's gone. Do live reaction to the first 30 seconds. It is incredible. Trust me, it'll be epic reaction or after show. No, we're not going to do that, buds. That's not something that I think is going to be of interest to the community. After this, we're doing the review, and then obviously tomorrow we've got KSI and that whole event. So I can't say that that's looking like it's going to fit into our schedule. Here's Drew. Then we're going to our main event. I don't think he wins because they've not separated the belts. How do you think they could handle that? I don't know. Rumors are they don't know. So it is being advertised as being for both. And I mean, look, I want Roman to get to 1,000 days, but there's no guarantee that he's going to get to 1,000 days or that the plan is for him to get to 1,000 days. Drew against Sami Zayn, our main event. When will you do predictions? We're doing predictions Sunday, so that's Sunday that's sorted as well. So we've got KSI tomorrow. And on Sunday, we've got Clash at the Castle predictions. The sword is back. Yeah, the sword's back. In all fairness, as long as he's not threatening to behead people with it, I can live with the sword. As long as he's not like chopping ropes and people are running away scared of it, I don't mind the sword being like a symbol that he carries. Something that, you know, kind of represents, it's named after his mother. It's something that looks cool when he comes out. Like, I don't have an issue with that. The bit I hate is when he's like holding it up and you've got Jinder and Shanky that were fearful that they were about to get beheaded. Drew has worked very hard to get where he is in this company. He should drop the kilt and unveil his short sword. I don't think that would be PG. Maybe if we go TV 14. How long is the Triple H honeymoon period? Ratings-wise, they've stayed above 1.9 for 5 weeks. The back-to-back wrestling and less comedy must be appealing. I don't think you can say that. I think that change is appealing. Returns are appealing. I don't know that the increase in wrestling and less comedy is what's driving those numbers. I mean, we will find out once we've got more data that we can use. Like, it's not been that long. So, you know, if you was to look at this first month and look at the ratings, you'd go, that's very good. But as you just said, when does the honeymoon period end? Because we are in and have been in a honeymoon period. So I certainly can't sit here and say that less comedy and the increase in wrestling is what's driving that. I think fans have really appreciated the overall show quality improving, but I have to be honest, I think this show has been a bit of a miss. I don't think this show's been very good. This is maybe, for me, the worst Triple H show that we've had so far. I don't think there's been any massive talking points. I think that some of it hasn't really made a great deal of sense. I don't know why you would open with like Ricochet against Happy Corbin, which is a bit of a flat feud for me. And, you know, not a very exciting opening to the show. I understand that it's a good showcase for Ricochet. And I understand that, like, his moveset is very eye-catching. But it's not a match that got me fired up. It's not a match that I watched and was like, oh, my God, this is crazy. It wasn't a great start to the show. And then, you know, we get that Fatal 4-Way, Last Chance Fatal 4-Way. I think the very next match that follows it, they then lose. So that whole stuff was not irrelevant, but do you know what I mean? Like, what are we taking out of this show? Hopefully we get something here. Hopefully there's like something in this. I mean, I thought the Sami segment was good. I thought Gunther and Sheamus was quite good. So it's not a disaster. I don't think anything's been particularly bad. But I have to say, this is probably the least impressive Triple H show we've had so far. So, but you're going to get them. You're going to get them. You're going to get things like this. I think the issue is SmackDown just doesn't have a good roster, said It's Your Boy Soul. Not every show is going to be good. No, that's true. That's true. I don't have a problem with that. I've watched tons of awful Raws and awful SmackDowns. And the overall quality of what Triple H has been doing has definitely increased. But I think right now, with like 20 minutes to go, I'm quite comfortable in saying for me this has been the least appealing. Is that a better way of wording it? Least appealing show that he's put on so far. Oz's 30-foot inflatable. So Oz, 30-foot inflatable Ozzy Osbourne. Is that outside the venue, is it? SmackDown will never be a 4-hour show, says Sean. I don't know that anyone but Nick Khan's clamoring for it to be 4 hours. So inflatable Ozzy Osbourne. Right. Next week, we have got Roman Reigns celebrates 2 years as champion. You see, I want him to get to 1,000 days. Next week, he celebrates 2 years as champion. So, Ronda's final judgment. Karrion Kross in-ring debut. Hit Row take on Maximum Male Models next week. Also, we've got Butch taking on Ludwig Kaiser. I mean, all of this is about to be taped after this, isn't it? So, breaking news. Viking rules match next week. So, a Viking rules match between New Day. So, his foot must not be injured. Because, again, that match is going to be taped straight after this. So, New Day taking on Viking Raiders in a Vikings rules match. Butch against Ludwig Kaiser. Hit Row against Maximum Male Models. Karrion Kross makes his in-ring debut. Ronda's final judgment. And we celebrate 2 years of Roman Reigns' title reign. Whew, it's all happening. The next ratings will be bad. What's a Viking rules match? I think they were saying it was no DQ. It's basically a no DQ match, I think. Drew making his way down to the ring. Sami making his way down. Drew in the ring. Roman. Kneel to the steel. Sign in the front row. Monday Night Football is happening in 2 weeks. It'll be interesting how many stick around because it will take a bit of a chunk of WWE's audience. Big Time Baxter. Good point. Yeah. I mean, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Sami trying to lash out at Drew. He rolls out of the ring. Apparently, SmackDown is taped next week. Every sword should have a sheath. Drew should have King Arthur's sword, stone for his sword. He did. He used to do that in the entranceway. He would come out and the stone would be there and he'd put it in and then the pyro would go off. So they did do the sword in the stone thing. Big right hand there by Drew as Sami goes down. Sami is probably going to leave again, says LD Cool. The Bloodline doesn't even accompany Sami Zayn to the ring, says Tanny. That's a good point, yeah. Out there, he's got to do it on his own. Honorary Us, but how accepted is he? That's my point, says Larry. Sonny said, can I have a sword so that I can vanquish my enemies? You might get in trouble, mate. Drew's all right because he operates in the weird universe that is WWE, but you'd probably just get arrested. Sami jumping into the ring and Drew pulling at the leg of Sami. Kicks coming in by Sami. Drew over by the commentary table. Big right hand by Sami. Drew is trying to smash him into the commentary table. Are you going to Wales for the Undertaker show? No. No. I live very close to Wales, and the Undertaker show does sound very interesting, but let's be honest, he's doing it when I'm asleep. Because we always do streaming of a night time, and so we'll be streaming SmackDown next week. Even though it's taped, we'll, of course, still be here. So if I went and saw the Undertaker show, I wouldn't be getting any sleep. I think I would have made it back in time because I think it's like middle of the day. But no, everyone that's going, I hope you have a great time. I'm sure you will. So Sami in control at the moment. As Drew was getting back into the ring, it allowed Sami to just regain momentum. Drew grabs Sami, though, hurls him into the corner. Big kicks, big overhand rights. Sami Zayn's getting knocked down. It's going to be a win, this, for Drew. I think we were all expecting that. But how much can Sami take out of Drew? Beautiful Twirl backbreaker. Bang, look at that. Are you going to Clash? No. We'll be streaming it, live streaming it. Klopp said he needs a midfielder and he's going to sign a midfielder. Of course, apparently he's interested in De Jong. Thoughts? Well, the De Jong deal is going to be very difficult to do, even for Liverpool, because the reason he hasn't gone to United, I don't think is for Champions League reasons. I think it's because he's owed 17 million in wages. So if Liverpool want him, you're going to need to pay the, I don't know what it was, 60, 70 million, and then potentially the 17 million on top for his wages, which United were not prepared to do. So if you get him, you're getting a great player, but I think you're going to have to pay for it. I don't think he's going to accept a Liverpool offer because that doesn't resolve his wage issue. The matches like Hit Row against Maximum Male Models and New Day against Viking Raiders, and they're not happening at Clash. No, they're happening next week on SmackDown. Scott said this SmackDown has been a little lackluster, to be honest. Big Time Back said, what benefits do us UK fans have watching live wrestling at 1 a.m? I can't imagine watching at 8 and finishing at 12. What benefits do we have? I don't think there's many benefits, to be honest. I think if you used to ask most fans what benefits are that are doing this, I mean, I don't know that many people would come up with many benefits. I mean, the one thing I would say is that I think it's kind of a fun feeling, a nice feeling. I think when you're young and you're, I don't know, 15, 16, 17, you're kind of that age and you're, out drinking or whatever, you can then go out with your mates, come back, and then, as you're a bit hungover or whatever, having some pizza or whatever it might be, put the telly on and boom, there's live wrestling. I think that's fun. If it's on at 8 o'clock on a Friday, to be honest, I mean, you might be just getting ready at that point to go out. So you could probably watch it as you're getting ready and then go out after. But equally, you could always watch it once you come back. So maybe that. I mean, pubs tend to close at 11. By the time you've got home, it's about 12. By the time you've had something to eat, something starting at 1 o'clock is, that's lovely. And a Friday night, if you're not doing anything on Saturday, great. I don't think that's a problem. Raw's a problem. Raw's a problem because it starts at 1, finishes at 4. And a lot of people have got school, work, stuff on a Tuesday. So I'd say that's a problem. So I don't know if there's many benefits to that one. But I think the Friday one, it's kind of cool. Watching stuff late at night when, everyone else is, in bed, it's just, a bit more personal. You'd have to, if it was on at 8 o'clock, maybe you might have to, I don't know, it depends how many TVs you got in your house. If you've only got the one TV, you might have to try and argue with people to get the TV. But if it's on late at night, got to think you've probably got the TV to yourself. So, to know outside of that, I can't really think of many other benefits. No live today. No. No live next week, apparently. Although we are getting Ronda's final judgment. She could be a part of that. I feel like a 5-hour wrestling pay-per-view finishing at 5 is brutal, says Big Time Baxter. Triple H hasn't got anything for Liv, hasn't been giving Bianca any matches or much to do either, says British Soundboards. Who are you hoping will win at Clash, Drew or Roman? To be honest, I'm hoping it's Roman. But that doesn't really end it on a great note, does it? I kind of feel like you need Clash to have a real lovely ending. I don't know what that ending's going to be, but I feel like, maybe the Bloodline are beating up on Drew and then Tyson Fury comes out. That could be epic. Imagine that. Bloodline, Roman wins because Bloodline interfere. They start beating up on Drew, and then, you know, music hits on the screen. It says Tyson Fury, and the Gypsy King comes walking out in the entranceway, and like the Bloodline all look down as Tyson Fury's in the entranceway, making his way down to the ring. Like, that'd be pretty epic. So that would keep the belt on Roman and provide like an epic ending. But I don't know, man. I don't know if they'll do that. I think there's a real good chance Drew could win. And these video packages only make me think it even more. They are booking Drew Sheamus for October in Canada. That would support Drew's winning at the Castle Theory. Roman needs to lose the title, says Tori. Lucas says, what about the Fiends? To be honest, I wouldn't have the Fiend at the end because I don't think that's UK related. And I think that you really need to end it with something for the UK. This, in a way, is a little bit of a celebration of like the UK's support, if you will. That's how I see it. Maybe I'm seeing it wrong, but in SummerSlam 92 it ended with the Intercontinental match. I mean, how many times has the Intercontinental match closed a pay-per-view? It closed it for SummerSlam 92 because the British Bulldog won. And so what a moment having the British Bulldog winning a title. And honestly, the crowd was so hot you'd think it was for the WWE title. The crowd was so loud and so into it. And it was Bret Hart, a credible opponent, British Bulldog. It could have been, and you could argue should have been, for the WWE title. That should have been for the title. But it wasn't. It was the IC title. So I have to think that this show will close with something for the UK fans. I don't think The Fiend fits into that. Blue Thunder Bomb by Sami as the Usos come down, but it's just a 2 count for Sami. I'm at about 10% for Bray coming back at Clash. About 10%. As I said, like my percentage has been dropping the closer we've been getting to it. Wasn't the Warrior match main event? No. Warrior against Macho Man was, I can't remember if it was middle of the show or something, but that was for the title. And it might have been the main event, but it didn't close the show. Down goes Sami. Legend Killer, shout out to you. Roll up by Sami. 2. Kick out by Drew. Clothesline by Sami. Duck underneath by Sami. Claymore! Claymore by Drew. That's got to do it. 1, 2, 3. Drew pins Sami after a Claymore. We've still got 8 minutes to go. Here's Roman. Here's Roman. Here's Roman. Roman walloping Drew from behind. Stomping away. Roman Reigns battering Drew. So Roman came running down. He's circling around Drew McIntyre. So Roman Reigns. Drew hurls Roman into the ring post. But now the Usos attacking. So McIntyre having to deal with the whole bloodline. Spear by Roman. Roman spears Drew. And now we got chairs being introduced. And they're walloping him with chairs, beating him down. Yeah, I've got a horrible feeling that his title reign's going to come to an end, you know. So, absolutely battering him with chairs, trying to weaken him, trying to beat him up. Drew gets thrown out of the ring, dumped to the outside. Drew gets thrown over the commentary table. There is a ferocious beatdown of Drew. I can see next week Drew saying that he doesn't know how well, if he's going to be 100% at Clash, blah, 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 blah. And then he goes to Clash and wins. I don't want that. Into the barricade goes Drew. Drew's getting a clobbering. He is getting a clobbering. We've still got 5 minutes to go. We've still got 5 minutes of this clobbering. Here's the honorary use. The honorary use with a haluva. Ah! Enjoyed that. The honorary use now holding up Drew as the ring steps get driven into the midsection. And again. A brutal beatdown. Oh! Drew gets battered down. Call the cops, said Zoom Station. Call the cops. It is an absolute battering. So Drew is down. He's been smashed with a haluva, smashed with a spear, smashed with chairs, smashed with ring steps. And now he's being rolled into the ring at the feet of the tribal chief. The tribal chief standing over Drew. Stand me. The titles are mine. You will never have them till I am done with them. And there we go. He's putting on a tight guillotine. Drew is out. Hurled down. Drew has been battered. Got marks on his back. Do more. Do more. Yeah, do more. Do everyone's finisher. Go through a list of everyone's finishers. We should Razor's Edge him. Bonsai drop him. We should leg drop him. DDT him. RKO him. Just keep hitting him with different moves. F5. AA. Bank statement. Bailey to belly. Figure 8. This whole industry, this whole business is mine. That's quite the image of Roman sat on a chair with the 2 titles on his shoulders as that chair is over the throat of Drew McIntyre. A lifeless Drew McIntyre. He wants someone to take it from him. This is why Roman can't lose or will lose. Acknowledge Roman Reigns. Big statement from Roman. You know the question about WWE selling match contracts, and you mentioned about Hall of Fame for that stuff. What would the top few items you would love to see in a Hall of Fame museum be? I would love... God, that's a good question. What would I love to actually go and see in a Hall of Fame museum? What would I love to actually see? I feel like I would love to see... I feel like that's a deeper question. Because off the top of my head, I might as well just say what I'm thinking. I'm thinking classic Macho Man robes. Like, you know, ones that he wore, like the one from WrestleMania 3. I've got to think they've got that. So, like, the WrestleMania 3 Macho Man robe, I would love to see that in person. I'd love to see something to do with Andre, be it like one of his jackets he wore or his boots. I know they have his boots, but there's not loads that you can have when it comes to Andre because he didn't have loads of accessories. But I feel like something along those lines, that could be really cool. I think I'm trying to think of like if there's any actual objects. I feel like the SmackDown fist that was always like on display, that would be awesome. I think one thing I would love to see is the actual, you know, the neon entranceway. So in the 90s, when they were doing Raws, and in fact, Mattel just made a replica of it. It's the neon lights all went around, and it had WWF at the top, and then you had the neon lights go all the way around it, and that was the entranceway. There was no big screen or anything. Like, they just used to come through a curtain, and it had like these neon lights all around it. Like, that was used at WrestleManias. It was used at like tape-ins for Raws and Wrestling Challenge and all this kind of stuff. They have shown that at Access. And actually, that's why Mattel just made a replica of it, because Bill said that the Mattel stall at Access was opposite this entranceway, and the amount of people that were standing in front of it getting their pictures said to Bill, we need to make that. Like, look how much people are loving interacting with that. So we need to make that in figure form. So that's why they did it. So it's funny, isn't it, that like things at Access can then get made by Mattel because of how much people loved seeing it. So yeah, that's my point. That's totally my point. I would have been that person. I would have wanted to have had a picture took with it. I don't know if they've got like the original Piper's Pit set, like that Roddy Piper used to do his talk show on. But I would love to see that. Maybe the original barbershop as well, you know, where Shawn Michaels gets puts Marty Jannetty through the window. I've got to think that original barbershop set has got to still be around. So I'd love to see that. I'd love to see... I'm trying to think if there's anything more like Attitude Era. I'm sure there'd be like loads of Undertaker stuff, like an original urn, some of the caskets. We know they've got loads of the caskets. But honestly, I could sit here and just reel off a flipping list. So much stuff that I would love to see. How about an original Jake the Snake bag as well, that he actually used to carry like the snakes in? Like, they must have like one of those as well. That would be cool. And they probably got loads of like Shawn Michaels gear, but it's hard to say like the thing at the top. But I think Macho Man, a Macho Man robe, and the one that comes to mind would be WrestleMania 3. I think that would be pretty special. And they'd have tons of contracts. They'll probably have the contract that Hogan and Andre signed. They might even have the old belts. I mean, to actually see like some of the belts that were actually used throughout the history, not replicas, the actual ones. You see, I went to Hogan's I need to find that picture. I have got a picture. I think it's in the toy hunt, or one of the toy hunts. I have got a picture. I paid, I think it was $20, and you can have your picture taken, apparently, with the actual belt that was used at WrestleMania 3, the actual championship that Hogan had. Now, I don't know how true it is, and if anyone's going to lie to me, I believe it would be Hulk Hogan. But for $20, you can actually go to Hogan's Beat Shop and hold the actual belt. And it was one of the, they were like, you know, you got to be super careful, and you can tell that it's been used. It wasn't like, you know, pristine by any means. It was battered. And like, you know, you're kind of holding it. You're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It was amazing. It was amazing. If you get a chance to do it, do it. Do it. It's so cool. And you're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Yeah, that was cool. I'd love to see some of the other ones that they must have. Going all the way back to like, they must have Bruno's. They might even have the very first one. The one from like 63 that was Buddy Rogers. Oh my God, they might have some Buddy Rogers stuff. He was the first champion. So like to see any boots or trunks of Buddy Rogers, obviously Bruno. They'll have vehicles. Do you know what I mean? All the vehicles that have been destroyed over the years, they'll have all of those. Yeah. Yeah, man. Honestly, it's probably worth doing a separate video on. Like 10 things I would love to see if there was a physical Hall of Fame. Just like sit down and really give it some thought. But those are just a few things that come to mind. That one-time Andre belt is somewhere. That one-time Andre belt, I heard, was with Planet Hollywood because it got used in No Holds Barred, and it's the same one. So they put it onto a white strap, used it in No Holds Barred, and because it was in No Holds Barred, it was then sold to Planet Hollywood. And my understanding is that right now it's not on display anywhere. It's at the Planet Hollywood kind of warehouse, which is really depressing. So, right, I need to run away and get ready for our review show. So big shout out to everyone that joined us. Hope you enjoyed the show. It was so. I mean, a good beatdown at the end, though. But I am going to go and get ready for our post-show review. So really appreciate the support. Thanks a lot for watching. And I'll see you again, hopefully very, very soon. Bye for now.